And it's not a revenge trade, but damn, it feels good to have that one back through there, and got a bid there on VWAP. So yeah, Jersey Mike's right now not doing a whole heck of a lot, just hovering around, still 23 bucks. Getting lower though, right now only 16,000. So there is a good chance that JMKE opens up pretty soon, I would say. Right now, JMKE, get ready, no problem. Get ready for this on the midday show. So yeah, look, it's been a minute here today, and now the market's trying to fall back in. So we definitely like what we're seeing right here, right now. Hold those shorts if you got them, baby, and we'll see you, and we'll be green by the time we get back to you guys. It's 11:01. Thank you so much for everything. Stay tuned. It's the midday show right about now. Ciao.
Boom. Greetings, salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. This man right there.
I can't even do that, man.
You know what, bro? I'm not gonna lie. Both my shoulders are bothering me.
You take fish oil? Fish oil?
I take omega-3. Right?
Okay.
I got a lot of omegas coming through the eggs, so we needn't double on the omegas.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, what's that, Assassino? My mic, my bad. Yeah.
Don't mess
Just
around.
going
Don't mess
Assassino.
around now.
The Real Gary F. Boom. John Zuber. We got Jeremy Newman. Shout out to Sage 88. Big Wick Energy 67. You're gonna have to up that by 2, my boy.
Oh.
Dave Crazy Dirt Weed. We got Anurag. We got Side Quest Investors. Shout out to my man Byron Hart and Tisha frickin' Perkins. We're looking at CYCU. Are we, Tish? We got Aman. We got Antonio Powers. Shout out to Austin Powers.
Oh.
Jose Santos, Ellie. We got Down to Sky 404. Shout out to my man Yannick. Ostentatious Plays and Black Hole. Sun Won't Chick Come. OG Dart Trader in the house. That's Trader Forever. Get it, Neil. We got Keel Go. We got Adam James Abroad. He's just always out there, man. Nick Dubb, Michael P. D. Ryder. We got who? I Am Big Deal. Love the name. Angry Rob Entertainment. We got the other Zinc. Boom. I'm late. Let's go. No, you're good, bro. Your owner, PC Hoon, Don Baca. It's a who's who of regs. But if you're new, man, Wyatt. Shout out to my man Wyatt.
Yeah,
Justin
up,
Ross.
Wyatt?
If you're new, throw your name in the chat, man. I'd love to shout you guys out. Let's see some new names in there. Good morning, show.
Good morning, everyone. All right, guys, let's get this. Listen, we're gonna. Okay, there we go. Assassino. VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales. This week, VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan with VinFast VF6 vehicles. Together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the Nasdaq under ticker VFS. We're not done yet, Sharif, with the shout-outs. We have to pay a little homage to our good friends over there on TikTok, and Bravely, always doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much for that, my friend Che Wo Lim. You might know him. They're ShorePoint, T-Trades. We have Nata. What's up, Nata? We have G-Sun, Dad & Co, Maverick Life, Superman's in the chat, Clark Kent himself, no way. New Power, T-Rose, Apex Media, Kevzing, Matt Dougal, Matt Rayner, Jack Jones, Sam, a.k.a. Bullpick, all right, Frog, Eric Jr., Annie, Braz, Ben Robert, a couple more, Fernando Ramirez, what's going on? And one of my favorite names, from here to there is in the chat. What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Now, listen, it's been a quiet one. Took a while for things to get the ball rolling, but here we go. Shout out Neil Roberts for getting METU unblocked, Sharif.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Neil Roberts strikes again.
Strikes again, man. So thank you for that one. He actually did that last week or the week before. So that's not too bad of a look, guys. You can see that we have the dual entry. I posted up at the lower end of the range with more size, but now this wedge that's been forming on the 5-minute finally starting to break. What are we going to look for in forms of continuation? We want to see that volume really start to step up, okay? Whether it be a stair step or to the top side, or just one massive candle that can give us a little bit more confirmation that this breakout is genuine, all right? So we're like, Joe, what are you doing? What are you even thinking about going long Meta being down 8%? Well, I think that's a reason why I'm going. It's because this name has just been getting beaten and battered. And listen, do I think this is going to completely change their narrative right now? No. And I like what Sean was saying this morning. He brought up the point, he's like, do we feel that Mark Zuckerberg is kind of losing his way? And I think it can be both things, right? We've seen this before when it comes to Reality Labs and what he had going on with the metaverse. Everybody's like, what is going on? You're spending too much money. But I think Zuck and company are going to have the ability to turn the tides. And what I'm going to really look forward to is that when we start to see them realizing cloud revenue on the balance sheet, I think that can be a massive change for this company. It may take a while, or the next quarter that is, but that's going to be a segment within the company that's new and going to be growing at a substantial clip rate, in my opinion.
All right, man. Look, Meta, I'm sure it's seen better days. In fact, I know it has. But it's a tough one, man. They're down 18.5 on the year. So I'm almost certain this pops back and pops back in a big way. Sorry, just have to set up my screen here for one quick second, and then we'll get right into what I'm trading. CYCU. I'm looking for a hold here of the general structure and a move back above 50 pennies. No prints yet on CYCU, up nicely here, about 70%. Key and Peel. Shout out to the show. Good show there. Not as good as Chappelle's show, but good. There goes Keel through 419. That is a high a day. This is a bull flag breakout. I'll submit to you that the bull flag consolidation area, 410 to the high side, 4 to the low side, and there it goes through 410 into 419, keeping an eye on this. I see you, Tisha. Tisha says CYCU levels are 55 and then 89. Love it, Tish, but guess what? Let me tell you something. I stop out if structure breaks. Structure breaks for me, Tish, if we lose this area low right around 41, okay? So let's see how this cookie crumbles. Hopefully, it'll be a tasty one. I'm also looking at Lung. So just before you take your breath on this one, let's look at the technicals. 181 high. It's putting in lower area highs, but it's above VWAP. So I don't know how to feel about this. It could be like Keel. Hard to tell here, but LUNG is up a respectable 38 and change. Probably behooves us to look at it. It's got a good amount of volume, about 3.2 million shares. It's okay. 1 penny spread. Can't complain too much about the structure on this one, but just got to get in at the right area. What I don't like is the umpteen amount of lower highs and the clear seller at 175. That's been there essentially since we lost a level at around 10.15. And I don't like the lower lows. Area low over here into 166, and then we're area low into 164. So I know I'm looking at pennies, but these are penny stocks, okay? So continuing to watch that. Then we've got more. Let's bring them in. Let's bring in the trusty black charts. CBRG looking pretty good as well. But, I feel like with these ones, when they start consolidating sideways, it's just like 50-50, okay? Whether or not we get a structure hold and a break above 420, it's got a good-looking bull flag. It didn't touch the 10 EMA all morning. Now it's, consolidated with support 420 as resistance. So those are the four. One last one here, Joey, kind of the same look. BHC into $6, losing trend coming right down into the 10 EMA at 594. This one also didn't even glance at the 10 EMA's way the entire morning, and then all of a sudden it's straddling it. Well, that's kind of what we know to happen during the 11 o'clock to say 12:30 time slot. Let's get to some of these tags over here. Zion, Joe Sharif, Jacqueline, y'all remember that episode of QMPL? Yeah. Jack, how do I say that again, man? It's been a minute since I've watched that show, but yes, I do remember. Aztec Trader, thank you very much, brother, for joining Trader TV. Make sure to mosey on over to the morning note. And there's been a lot of you guys that have been asking, hey, man, I can only see the first page of the morning note. What's going on? Well, what's going on is you're not clicking read more. So let's just go down over here, Joey. Yeah, Assassino, hit that again, man. Microsoft Azure explodes. Microsoft delivered blowout quarter, okay? Read more right there, ladies and gents. Make sure to click that. It brings you down to read more about the headlines. And then right at the bottom, you're going to see a Google Drive link. Click that bad boy, and then you get access to the full thing. Make sure you're clicking the read more, guys, because a lot of you guys have been messaging me and or leaving comments that, hey, I can't access the full thing. So I just want to make that very clear. Terrible volume, but if you want to check KSCP, let's have a look. Let's see here, Joey. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not terrible volume. It's just not great. 1.21 million shares on a $1.74 name. You can kind of tell it already. It's light volume based upon all the gaps that are here between the 5-minute candles. That's atypical. But look, you know, Bovin probably be all over this because, well, quite frankly, it's breaking out and it's low volume, and that's what he seems to love. So shout out to my man Bovin. Where is Bovin? Oh, there he is. Boom. He's yelling right on cue. GVH. He's yelling about GVH. There goes GVH, man, into 126. Why don't I have this on the side chart? Correction, it's been added, Joey. So shout out to the OG Bovin, calling out GVH. What's Casey calling out? She's talking about Trump retaliating against somebody. All right, that's not a call out there. So we'll keep an eye here on GVH. Good call out there, Bovin. That gives me something more to trade because I got to tell you, yet again, options, man, pickings are slim.
Who's this guy? Who's Jay Quellen?
I don't know who Jay Quellen is.
I don't know. Shout out to.
Oh, that's from the Key and Peele episode, brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shout out to that individual catching
Get it.
that reference. All right, guys, let's get right into what we got going on here. I guess I'm going to
Adam.
move this bid here. What's up, Adam James?
Man.
So, I mean, we were posted up at the lower end of the range. Let's see if we're going to continue this breakout. We talked about the volume. We want to see that uptick. And on the 5-minute, it has gradually increased, but not to the extent in which we would like.
Oh.
Now, with the overall market starting to pull back in, there was some indecision prints on NVDA around the lower end. I picked up a little bit more here around 194 in the pre-market, but I do believe, and I stand by this. I think at some point, yeah, we'll see 185 bucks. It's not looking pretty right here. A lot of indecision prints right at the volume-weighted average price, D-nice. So, yeah, a lot of indecision prints right here. But starting to give up the majority of this move here now, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. And then sure enough, here it is, starting to crack through some of the lows. We have the SPY around the lows. One of my friends decided, I get these, I don't know how often you get these texts. I get these texts multiple times a week. Hey, Joe, what's a good stock I should buy? What's this? What's a good dividend stock I should buy? Yeah, my latest response is I just text them my email address so they can send me money, and then maybe I'll decide to tell them if they want something. Even my closest friend, you can even look at my message. He's like, hey man, what's a good name I should get for high yield? Email address, boom, right there. I could tell you guys it if you're feeling generous, but hey, at the end of the day, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm obviously being sarcastic. I would never ever charge them, but I'm just getting at that. I get these texts very regularly, and it's like, all right, man, do some homework. And my real response is do some homework and get back to me, and we can have a conversation.
Well, tell them what to look at, Joe, because they probably have no idea. Fundamentals, technicals are probably blind.
They don't. And that's why it makes it more difficult, because if I suggest something and if it doesn't perform well, then all of a sudden I don't know what I'm doing.
Fair. Right? Good point.
Right?
Great point.
But anyways, here it is. We're going to wait for some more indecision prints around these lows. And if this structure right here at 194 can hold up, we only have had a couple of names on our radar this morning. It's these two. I've been watching NVDA quite often, and you guys have realized that. Now, Meta itself finally breaking out, but can we hold this structure without having too aggressive of a pullback? More indecision prints around the low. I like that one, all right? Moving forward, I want to take a look at some of the other names. Listen, this has just been the narrative for the past couple of months, and Sharif and I'm sure we'll get into it momentarily. What's going on in South Korea? I've been pounding the table about this for quite some time.
And you've been right.
And it's really unfortunate to see what is happening. But hey, it's the nature of the beast. Western Digital, yeah, 15%. Oh, 21% in SanDisk. Good stuff. Micron, 14%. So these memory names finding somewhat of a bottom and a rebound. Now, in the bigger picture of things, is it much? No, but it's better than nothing. And Neil brought this up a long time ago, that when you have these aggressive moves to the downside, some of these slingshot moves back towards the top side can be pretty aggressive, and we're seeing that right now. SanDisk up 21%, Western Digital, STX, DRAM, 15, 11, and 12% respectively.
I respect all the tickers until they turn against me.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way.
Yeah,
well, then we have
established.
Then we have problems.
Zero loyalty.
Yeah, well,
no, I got loyalty to my conviction trades, man. But
To a certain extent.
I have more conviction behind my fundamental picks than my technical picks, and when the technicals break down.
I like what you said yesterday.
Yeah, about the technicals, this, that, and the other.
But in all reality, man, like, listen, you can't, like, in the markets, you can't hold that type of loyalty, because look what happened to a whole index and a massive group of people in South Korea who just been buying the cost being.
We'll get to that, because there's a lot of traders who are liquidated and zero left in their account. A lot of data coming out of South Korea with respect to these mass liquidations. There's videos as well of, streamers, traders just like us who, were kind of all in on swing trades, and now we're in some trouble.
Been talking about this for the past month, man. It was inevitable on that pullback. Over leveraged.
Well put. All right, so we're in a couple of trades. CYCU, got a couple of profit takers there through, but we're still below the $0.50. That displeases me greatly. We're looking for a bigger move here above the $0.50, okay? And then I worked into Key and Peel. I got in at 412s, looking to add into 404. Shut it to the highway, didn't come in. Now it's coming into 415 with a 419 high. We're looking to enter that one as well. And shout out to my main man, Bovin, GVH. I want to keep a close eye on this one, because it's got some pre-market highs that we keep rejecting. So the high of the day is 129. We got into 128 bright early at 4 a.m. So technically, and I mean both like technically and technical analysisly, GVH has a triple top here in the high 120s. So I want to see if we can take out that seller, Bovin, because if we can, I mean, this one made a move pretty aggressively in the aftermarket too. I wonder how it looked on the ocean. But right in the morning, 4 a.m., ripping into that 128. We did breach it by a penny. We're holding structure by putting in these higher lows on GVH. So it certainly interests me here as a potential candidate for a 150 squeeze. But I can't keep thinking we are in the same type of market for small cap gappers. Maybe the small caps like the IWM is still okay. It's actually the worst. The Dow is worse today. But the point of what I'm trying to make is that the small caps have not been rocketing up in the way that we saw, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, last week, this week. They have been quite tame. So I can't be thinking, this one could squeeze easily into 2. Took out 150. I'm going to have to reserve that kind of thinking for when the market's really hot. So I'm definitely interested in GVH, but I definitely have to temper my expectations as to where to expect this monster to go. There goes CYCU through 49. 49, high 49 seller, Joey. We're knocking the door of 50, 49.56, 49.7, 49.8 coming in. So we don't get the print. Let's see if this one can rip through that $0.50 and what we can do with that by extension. Just got the first print here on Key and Peel into 416. So pleased with that, but looking for a bigger move into 4.5. And there goes CYCU through the $0.50. It's on its horse. It could be taking out 51 right now. So let's put a profit taker at 52.5. Let's see if we can get that bad boy. CYCU, the leading gapper in the market, dude, right now up 87%.
Yeah, all right, good stuff. Joey T. Gap, I guess your name is here. We're giving up the majority of this move. Listen, yeah, all right. Anyways, so what we got going on here is this aggressive pullback, and this is what I'm waiting for. Are we going to hold up at this level? If not, we only took 5% off up here, looking for a little bit more of a continuation, but you can see the market starting to give up a little bit of its move here, and the volume starting to pick up on the one name that I'm keeping my eyes on. I'm not panicking anything, guys. Here I am, been sitting in this position. Like, I mean, what time did I start?
What time?
10:17.
Okay.
Gucci man, what's up over there? And then here it is, 10:38 we posted, and then I don't take anything off until 11:07. Look at this move. So I'm going to get out break even. I'm not going to allow something that is slightly winning to come against me. If that's the case and it breaks through this consolidation zone, well, guess what? The chances of me getting a better price are pretty high.
Okay.
This is an important inflection point within the underlying asset, because when you break out of structure, you come back and retest it. If you don't hold it, the chances of it sliding are going to increase. All right. So, I mean, here it is. As the market is moving lower, memory names helping the Nasdaq here north of the volume weighted average price, but the chip man himself, 193.80. And hey, we talk about the void all the time. Be prepared for this inside day to a one point breakthrough. You're going to crack 189 and then head into the oblivion and the abyss. I guess I should say that the abyss of this range right here of $178. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get in the abyss, Reef, but unfortunately that's going to be the nature of this beast. I mean, think about it, from August to 25. So you're almost at levels from a year ago. All right. So if you think that, listen, I love talking like Meta's cheap. NVDA is cheaper than it was in 2015. Congratulations. That doesn't mean anything at this point. If the stock market doesn't like it, it's going to continue to sell off. And you got Big Boy Burry having his big position.
Get it, Burry. Yeah, you know what we're doing right now, Joey?
What's up,
The
buddy?
Katina Man is now short Nvidia. Okay, Katina Man, you want to disclose the price there, brother? Or can we show the chart? There it is. Short right there at about 195. Katina, 195.5. He added into that 195.50. Shout out to the Katina Man there. Taking and Palantir short. Palantir short's been printing. There's a bunch of lower lows and lower highs. Good covers, brother. Hope you print up several storms on your side of the screen. CYCU is Rip City. Rip City. Here goes. 59.60 high on the U. We're looking for now 2/3. I'm thinking 66. Get it, Case. I know Case is involved in this from the 30s. Shout out to her. I'm a schmuck. I've got 40s. I got 46s. But we're up over 10 pennies in the money now on a 57 penny name. So let's see how this cookie crumbles. And there goes Keel into the money, man. Let's go. Bovin, I got into GVH, Bovin, and I'm going to give it to 111s where the players don't dwell because they draw at 112, right? So that's where we're looking there. If that's my area low, I was thinking about giving it to single digits because of this area right there. I was thinking maybe 107, 108. But I'm gonna be a little bit more stingy with this one because I believe a little bit less in it because of the triple top that we formed on that. So we're doing well here on Keel. We're doing well on CYCU. Let's post that 27s and see what exactly we can get. Still an unfilled beak wetter here at 58.5 as we have a 59.60 high, but I didn't have any profit takers up there, resting profit takers, that is. So my move here, guys, now that we've cleared it by 10 pennies, I'd like to see a 50 penny hold. I don't expect this to go into 2/3, if at all, in a straight line. So I'm thinking, it comes back into that $0.50. The 10 EMA on the 5 could be overlapping with the $0.50 by the time it schleps down there. And if that's the case, your boy's probably going to add, right? We're going to look for a $0.50 hold here. So we'll keep a close eye on that. I ain't wetting no beak, says Ben Affleck. Well, let the animation do it for you, my man. Look at him. He's eating prints off the garbage.
Oh.
Right? Well, you can't expect a bird to eat off a plate, Joe.
Bird,
right?
man.
Tweet. Continuing to watch here, Key and Peel, as it comes up into the $0.25, so it's at day's high right now. Keep your eye on this one, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, KC, we're doing good over here. I mean, so, listen, we had 95% of this position still riding. I mean, we can ride this throughout the whole intraday session as long as we don't come back to our break even. Now, what am I thinking? Obviously, I want to add more shares if that's going to be the narrative and we'd find a bounce, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now, especially in a couple of the names. And we're at that inflection point that I was referring to not too long ago, all right? So we want to see these levels hold up, a base being formed, and then a strong bounce back towards this high of the day. If that doesn't happen, then by all means, we have to be prepared to exit the position and then hopefully try to find a better entry point on this name, or we could just put it to the side, really. It doesn't really affect me at the end of the day. 10:55 from an hour and 20 minutes, Meta was just moving sideways. Need a sound clip? Give me my freaking money, says Casey. Yeah, we could get that done. Fabian can get anything done. Give it a boom.
Go, bro.
Yeah, so other than that, this is what we got going on. One trade here for the day, and we're going to be looking for some more quality opportunities. We might find a bounce here in NVDA. So what I'm going to use is this leverage product to get us rocking and rolling for if and when this name decides that it doesn't want to give up the majority of its move and then some. So it looks like the buyers were pushing the pedal to the metal there, Sharif, but boom, just foot off the gas and then haven't put it back on yet. So you want to be patient and wait and see if that's going to occur again. I don't know if that's going to be the case and the narrative, all right? But AMD putting in a day, as you would say, Sharif. AMD up approximately 13% Wow.
AMD?
AMD,
Oh
14% there.
my
AMD,
days.
13%.
Look
a
at these
massive,
chips,
a massive
bro.
rebound. Yeah. And then we got it. Look. Okay. AMD, 13%. NVDA, 2%. All right. So, anyways, aside from that, we're still a little bit of ways off the all-time high, 16%. I do believe that there's going to be some more of a pullback here, but I mean, from peak to that local low, you're sitting at negative 27%. So, I mean, hey, watch out for this gap to be filled. I think this would be reasonable in my opinion. And you know what? I just believe that this is being prolonged, just this pullback. But I mean, it's been going south for a while now, 61 days roughly. 41 trading sessions, and I think at some point we did our little TA session on where we believe something is headed, but that's pretty dang close. 661 to this previous bet. All right, we got to get out of this trade here.
Happened?
Yeah, it broke the trend line. We're gonna get a better price on Meta
good.
and see if it wants to find any form of a rebound.
All right, Bovin, I'm looking at NUWE. That was a big one this morning. Neil was on it. I was on it. We were all talking about it. So it's below VWAP right now, Bovin. If it gets back above 5, I'm not even going to use VWAP here, brother. I'm going to insist that it clear 5. I'll get involved with that one, but at the moment, steering clear. I added into GVH at 120. I got the beak wet at 26, but it's putting in a topping tail candle that I dislike at the moment. So we'll see how that cookie crumbles. We're also doing okay here. Not great on Keel, so I'm going to wet the beak here a little bit more. I still have a plan to add into Key and Peel into $4. So let's see how that cookie ends up crumbling. CYCU still hanging out near highs, but there is a general seller here in the, I want to say high to mid 50s. So we're gonna wet the beak here as well on CYCU at this area, just in case it comes down. But I do want to add into that 50 penny level, like I mentioned earlier. You added like a psycho. Yeah, I know, right? Nah, I'm kidding, man. I don't know why it keeps blocking Blicky's all his comments. He doesn't even say anything, bro. Blicky? Where's my money, man? Golf club to the shoulder. Like, why is that even, like, why is that being held back, Streamlabs? Come on, get it together. John Del Segno, curious to hear your thoughts on Qualcommism. Qualcommunism? Did you hear
crazy.
that? Qualcommunism.
Like
why did you call it that? What are they doing? That's communist. Is there something, John? You need to explain that because it's a hilarious way to say it. We're going to talk about Qualcomm, I'm assuming, on the rundown or the afternoon event. So we'll get to that, of course. I do have some reservations about how that company is being run. Look, Cristiano Amon, he's one of the guys right now, the big guys, but. You know, every company has a bit of a misstep, and I think maybe he might have had a misstep or two, but I don't think that's the end of the matter, of course. We'll get to that. So, yeah, watching all three trades here, Joey, managing them well. They're not rocketing up. CYCU, definitely the more volatile of the bunch. We're still looking for a 60 break on that.
Good stuff, my guy. All right, we're posted up. Let's see if it fills our order. There it goes, bang. Kind of going against the momentum, and I mean, we're not going to have very much of a tolerance on this one. 27.40 is where we are long here on NVDA, looking for some form of a bounce, and if it doesn't happen, AC Slater. We hold no loyalty to this bad boy from an intraday standpoint. Long term, completely different narrative. Had Microsoft 410 calls, big print for you today. Glad to hear, brother. Continue to do what you're doing. You're crushing it. I don't like to see stocks taking money from me. I'm at a $1 risk to reward retro scalp with an 80% accuracy, so I do not like losing. Yeah, neither do I, but I think that's one of the most difficult things about trading is rewiring your brain and getting accustomed to losing. It's definitely something I struggled with over the years, but if you can really hone in on that, then by all means, you're on your merry way. But if you've given up 50% of your gains, as much as it sucks, I think it's time to just shut it down. It's a beautiful day out here in the eastern part of Canada, that is. I know you're out west there, Hangry. Just call it a session, man, and go enjoy your morning and your day. I think Neil tells this story quite often as well, too. It's just the one guy who wanted to make like an extra $1 on his P&L, so he hit like $1,000 or whatever, and then ends up giving back the majority of his day trying to make $1. Yeah. It's like, dude, listen, you have to set those measures when you're trading to the extent it's like, okay, this is how much I have realized. I'm willing to risk this, and if I hit that threshold, then I have to walk away with what I have. All right. A lot of yelling going on, but anyways, aside from that, hey man,
Look at what Next Gen just said.
what do you say?
Y'all should get some influencer visas, like the only fangirls, and move to the USA. Okay. Hey, Ram, I'm just reading out what they're writing, man. I'm not vouching for it, but...
An influencer visa? Do we need a...
I guess, yeah. I think you need a visa for any form of work.
Any form of work?
Yeah, even if you're streaming, I think that's still considered work. But that's
okay. All right, man.
I don't know what to say.
But what we do, we got to shout out to the individual who suggested that, man. We don't throw any of those recommendations out the window, but the probability is extremely low of that happening. All right, guys, we got a $10 super chat from the Chain Reactor.
I love this.
I like that name.
Yeah.
All this good news, Rocket Lab, and the stock is still absolute trash. He's stating. Is this thing ever going to break above 100 again? If it breaks 88, I'm out. I just don't see this breaking $65.
Look at that shot, bro. Look at that.
You started. Now you copying me with that shot, man.
Bro. You're blocking it, man. Why are you blocking it?
But my shoulder stopped, man.
God, this guy, bro.
Every time, I know you don't. Sorry, my bad. I apologize. This
guy's blocking my flex.
But every time I do it in your angle, Assassino changes it. I don't know why.
Yo, Wapadia gets tilted every time we talk about muscle, bro. Yeah. This guy, I'm not gonna say anything bad.
Called you egg boy, man.
Yeah, I know, but to be honest, I can just imagine what this guy is.
Call him baby one.
Either probably gets knocked over in a stiff or he's a rotunda individual.
Bro, that's crazy.
I'm thinking it's probably one of the two there because I think it really tilts him the wrong way.
Bro, but blown over in a stiff breeze is crazy activity, man. The disrespect is huge. Where are we going?
We got to go up to Juan and Adair for the Euro segment.
Yeah.
Very apt timing here. I'm getting some comments coming through from Bank of England Governor Bailey as we're about to digest what happened in the European markets. Those did just close, guys. It is 11:32, so they've been closed for 2 minutes. What do we need to know about what happened in the European session one?
Thank you, Dara. Yeah, I've got some updates on Bank of England coming up. So European markets trading mostly higher overnight. Strong corporate earnings countering that of the tech sell-off, as well as Bank of England rate hold. So we take a look at the stock index, stock 600, advancing a little bit cleanly, outsizing that of industrial as well as banking beats, outpacing that of the retail drag. One of the retail drags that I want to talk about is in Germany. Adidas dropped by about 16% as rising costs offset that of an upgraded revenue forecast. So they didn't do too well, probably most because of the geopolitical tensions happening right now. Airbus also fell over 3% despite strong Q2 results, only reaffirming their full year guidance. So there's no increase in their guidance for the full year, but only just reaffirming it. And there's also higher inflation data coming out of Germany and Spain, boosting that of an expectation that the ECB might hike up their rates this year, maybe in September. Over in France, rebounding from yesterday's previous session losses, the biggest name, Schneider Electric, up by 11%, more than 11%. Record first half results on upgraded guidance, as well as driven by strong AI demand and margin expansion. We also got some GDP economic data coming out of France. Their second quarter 2026 GDP grew by about 0.2%. Beating the forecast of a revised 0.1% contraction last quarter. So not too bad in France. Over in the United Kingdom, Shell gained by about 1.1% after reporting their strongest quarterly profit since early 2022. Rolls-Royce also surged by more than 5% after upgrading their 2026 guidance. But on the economic front, you mentioned earlier, Bank of England voting 6-3 to keep their rates unchanged at 3.75%. So with these in mind, I mean, I mentioned about GDP print coming out of France, as well as the growth in Spain and Netherlands. Spain's hotter than expected July consumer price metrics that could signal some persistent core inflation in the region. So we have some July Eurozone CPI data coming up on Friday morning in Europe. So a hot print fueled by Spain's faster than anticipated inflation rate also would cement a real hawkish stance for a September ECB rate hike. So yeah.
Lots about rates and lots in focus here in Europe, but don't worry, we'll see one again at this desk at 3:30 p.m. to talk about what's happening in the Asian markets, which is always a lot. So join us then. Don't be late. Don't miss it. We'll send you back to the guys for now.
Don't be late.
Don't be late.
And you know what is not late? CYCU. There goes CYCU into a high of day, 64.5 pennies. We got 46 on this monster. Watch out, guys. We're looking for a key technical resistance now at around 2/3. I'm thinking 63 to 66. Let's see how this cookie crumbles, but it's been good to me so far. My only kind of complaint about CYCU is I didn't get the 50 penny ad. Now, this did dip into 52.5. I don't know why, but I had the bias that 50 was the key technical level. It ended up looking at the closing prints on the 5-minute chart as the technical support level, which is 52. So I couldn't get the 50. So I'm a little disappointed in myself for that. I should have been a lot more alive and, you know, been a bit more aggressive. I didn't have to wait exactly for 50. I could have, you know, taken it at 53, 52.5, whatever. So CYCU, this is ripping up now. It's 123% to the good. It could see $1, right? Look, it's not breaking down. That's the thing. It's not, and it's not bamboozling you either, at least not yet. The bamboozlement may come a little bit later. So, you know, my little soliloquy earlier about, you know, the small caps not really having the juice to continue into the $1, $2, $3, this one could put that theory to the test, okay? So 62 incoming right now with a 64, 61 high. We're going to keep a close eye on this now. Now, here's the deal. Key and Peel. It's hanging here, Joey, and I don't know how to feel about this. So we're going to hang out here with Key and Peel a little moment longer. But I'm starting to feel like maybe... Ooh, get it, Sia. I'm starting to feel like this one may not have the juice. In any event, GVH added into this one. I still will hold GVH into 116. I will add into 116. That's VWAP where it's hat support. If it loses that, I'm out. Simple as that. So Ben Affleck, speaking of XLV, what do you think about Lil Wayne? HGH gut. I don't know. I wouldn't put him in the HGH category. I think he's got good lean mass.
Is he?
Yeah, he's pretty ripped.
Good lean mass. I like how you pun unintended there.
Lean mass. No, you can have lean mass. It's just mass without the fat.
No, lean here.
Yeah, but he's not about that life anymore.
Well, yeah, because he almost died. How many times did he almost have to die in order to not be about that life?
Away from lean.
All right, guys. Yeah, this stock. Listen, we're gonna get out of NVDA here. We're posted up to see if we can catch that fill. It just seems like we're trying to deal with a lost cause going to the long side, an hour straight to the downside, giving up the majority of its gains. I've seen this within this pre-market run. So if we're fortunate to get any form of a snapback, then we'll get out of that one, and then we'll reassess the situation and see if we can find something else. You see what I was referring to not too long ago? So there it is. We're all out of NVDL. And as that name continues to slide, we're not basing out. Trend line still fully intact, all right? So try to catch the top end of the candle, and then sure enough, if you can head a little bit lower, the top end of the wick, post up, don't punch, because you want every cent matters, okay? So you can see that we were in at 40 flats. Now, as for this name, we talked about it. It comes this far back, right? At some point, you'll be able to get a better trade. So maybe I'm just looking in the wrong spots. How has Microsoft been here throughout the day? Pull back towards the volume-weighted average price. Now starting to get the ball rolling over there. So not all. Well, okay, Hangry Wife. We won't repeat that one there. But Joe, how to say Shriram for the sake of VFS? Okay, yeah. Sorry, Rich Kid. I'm saying it wrong. Maybe we'll get Sia to correct me on the pronunciation of what that's going on for the sake of VinFast. So, yeah, it's Shiram, right? Am I pronouncing it correct now? Shiram. All right. Anyways, aside from that, yeah, I mean, here it is. METU, guys, 1740. Can we post up at that level? I'd rather get it at the lower end of the range. Now, as for that 725 might be a little bit of a stretch. We had a fake out here. It's just a perpetual downtrend, man. I think you want to wait for it to be broken at that level. So here it is. Let's head over to our watch list and see how Tesla's been performing here today. $305. Did we break? Oh, we went down to 293. 293 and then found a little bit of a bounce / bottom here. But if you look at the price action, it's not pretty, man. I do believe that there's going to be substantially more. Substantial might be a little bit of a stretch. But yeah, I mean, you're back at levels of November of 24. You go even further back, then it's like, okay, yeah, you've missed nothing for 5 years. October of 25, and then you're gonna head back into 21, like 6 years almost from this point. 276. I can definitely see Tesla falling into that. And I mentioned this not too long ago. I mean, Dan Ives was like, investors kind of getting tired of being patient with Tesla. I think now's the time. Like, you've waited all of this time to kind of get to the point where he's actually starting to build everything out. There's no point in bailing now unless you feel that there's a better place to park your money, which, I mean, there usually is. It's just tough to find at times.
I was reading an article. Wasn't it like the most oversold it's been since 22? Did you read that article?
No, I never read that article.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. It's the market. It's the beast of itself.
It might be time to buy it, Joey. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now's not the time to pull the chute on Tesla if you've been holding for 6 years. Exactly. Like, you got another couple of years ahead of you. I stand in the camp that Optimus Gen 1 probably going to be a bust, but I think that the Cybercab is going to be really, really a needle mover and a structural change within our day-to-day lives.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong.
About
Optimus being, a Gen 1.
Gen 1?
I hope you're wrong on that, but, from what I've seen, I think you're going to be right.
Yeah.
Just based on, but that Benioff video, I think we're going 6 to 8 months deep now on that Benioff video, right? A lot could have happened. Remember when Benioff was trying to instruct it to get
the coffee and stuff like that?
From the kitchen, and it was just like, oh.
I think it's keyword to Gen 1. Like, it's the first generation of this stuff. Like, if you go back and you look at the first iPhone, how trash is it now compared to what we're using, right?
You're not wrong, bro. Yeah. But you know what keeps me optimistic about it? Is I think that the mechanics of it, like the actual robotics components, are going to be good. So if the mind, vis-a-vis AI and the operational software, can always be updated via over-the-air updates, I think we could actually get a good one, eventually, even if the first one is a little bit of a bust. Again, the robotics have to be good.
Eventually, absolutely eventually.
But you may not need to buy a new one, was what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you get the update.
Wow.
No, but dude, it's like everything.
Come
like
on, man.
The further along in the product you get in the product line, you iron a bunch of things out and it gets better and better. I just wouldn't be, I don't know if it's for the everyday household, the Gen 1s. I don't think that's going to be the case.
All right, guys. CYCU went to 69 on the dot. That's where I'm waiting. It didn't cross. I didn't get the print. I'm not gonna exit here. I see 66 selling. So CYCU is an absolute storm of prints here. This is a really good, technical trade. We need a little bit more on it though. And again, my mistake here was not adding at the 52 penny area. So that's on me. We'll look to do a little bit better next time. We're still involved with that one, profitable. And then I did add here on GVH, but I think that that's going to be the end of the matter for me here on GVH because it's putting in lower lows and lower highs. Yeah, and just as I say that, it fails. I should have punched right when I said, and then it fails right back down into my entry. So we'll give back a little bit of profit there, but that is, part of the process. And here comes CYCU into 69. Big move up, 68.8. 68.3, not crossing, ending the trade here. We'll take it at 68 and change. So good look here for CYCU, but my question is, where do I add? There goes 69. Here comes 70. This could see 75 pretty easily here, guys. Here comes 70. There is 70 high of day. Ripping into 71.9. That's 72 pennies. Look for the price spike down and then move right back up as people will take profits into key technical levels. 71.90, 160% in the Ville of Green now. We could see 75, and if we see 75, I'm going to start thinking 88s. We'll keep an eye on this one. Let's go to SIA.
Keep an eye out on Goldman Sachs as well. GS, a little bit of an uptick here. So the Financial Times reporting that situational awareness will continue as a private investment firm and holds a $5 billion stake in Anthropic. So Goldman Sachs was involved in its public equities book sale talks as well, while Millennium Management also submitted a bid for the particular portfolio. That is what's causing a little bit of an uptick, just to mention, by Financial Times over here. GS a little bit to the upside.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, KC,
Yeah, I know,
526. She's doing it live. She's doing it live. Shout out to Case. 20 Trader TV Live memberships for those who are in the chat. If you are not in the chat, Tiff, they can't get a membership. That's the thing. If they're not engaging in the chat, y'all can't get a membership. She's just blessed. E777N, Askenor, Ivan KO, Brown, Strat King, we got Holy Light, J Trades, Daniel P. We got who else? Nixie, 1998, TF Trizzle, Jordan L3, Uncle Sandy. No, blocked. Nobody can use the moniker Uncle. Fun Guy, 1086. I can't hear you, Fabian. You're gonna have to put it up a little bit more, brother. If they received a gift, Fabian, you're a brilliant man. If you received a gift, how about we thank KC526 in the chat? Damn right. Get my man. Love it. All right, guys. We're going to send you up to Sia. She's got news.
QCOM on the upside, towards the upside here. So Qualcomm CEO Cristiano Amon saying that memory chip price increases is very dramatic. Qualcomm to the upside is still climbing, currently trading around 152.56 at the moment. CEO saying memory chip price increases is very dramatic.
Do it, Jackie, do it.
All right, guys, let's see. Attempt number 2. This time we have substantially more shares on this trade. NVDA is what we are long. You can see we have a bit better of an entry price, but someone's asking me. I'm like, dude, honestly, I would avoid it because you can see how much it's struggling to even pop and hold anything. Any form of pop is met by some form of resistance, but we get out and then we get back in. And the objective of this and what the game plan is that like you really want to increase your risk to reward, right? So if I'm still holding on to this position, then I'm not even back at break even. This one we're slightly in the money, but nothing to write home about. Okay. I do have more than double the amount of shares though, about 2.5 times here. Oh, okay, we'll take that one there, Sharif. Okay. Little 10-cent poppy to the top side, but again, I'm gonna get greedy and maybe look for a move back towards the volume weighted average price.
Say poppy?
It's not November.
I know, but you said poppy.
Yeah, nice little poppy. Yeah. Or how did you not know I didn't mean poppy chula?
That's true. You were doing your Spanish. This dude was on Duo in the morning. He's like, I didn't do my Duo Spanish yesterday, so he start smashing.
That's what
Duo.
I do usually in the first thing in the morning is just trying to get the neurons or whatever they're called flaring up.
How many days of a streak do you have now, Sharif?
26.
It's really good.
It's not great.
It's good.
Yeah, I know. 80 is.
Hold on now.
Yeah.
Why is it the person laughing the hardest here in the back?
Hold on.
Probably doesn't even probably have a streak.
You know how many times Duo has prompted me to remind Sharif is a hater because that's her name on Duolingo.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
So the person laughing the loudest in the room
reminded me to tell her to get her rear end back on the platform because she doesn't do anything.
Open up the app and laughing the hardest is crazy. No, like
Sharif is a hater, hasn't been on the platform in a really long time. Why don't you nudge her? So I'll nudge her if she doesn't respond.
If the app could collect dust, it would in Ramin's case. So I mean, crazy. But there it is, right? Like this is what I'm talking about. You get a strong pop into 2740, right back to the downside. So all that's happening with this name is just the expenditure of mental capital.
That's so true. Yeah, man. No, she's good times, man. You know, we're just busting her chops right now, but Ram's busy, man. She's busy bothering her husband or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say you're probably busy doing something else. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Displeased with that comment.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sia. She's got news.
Just a couple comments more coming in from the CEO of Qualcomm saying that higher prices are also changing consumer behavior. And you have him saying as well that auto demand will drive future growth. Qualcomm to the upside, settling around $152 right now.
I've seen that eye grow.
If you say socks really fast, does that remind you of a... Spell it out, Fabian says. Does that remind you of a Spanish word?
I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong guy. Listen, I got shares on here with NVDA.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not worried about
we'll let him
what's got going
concentrate,
on.
Fabian. Maybe we'll bug
Spelling
bug
stocks
him a
out
little.
loud. Oh, Ramin, that's crazy.
He's just a... Oh!
Don't forget, this is the individual who stated you can still score when there's a goalie, which is crazy.
Bro,
hold on, man.
bro,
I need
we're gonna have to block
This is
her,
my
man.
bro. Yeah. I gotta copy and paste this and then send it
She
to
just
my
called her
guy
hubby
there.
a roommate.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
All right? Just the utter
Roommate,
disrespect
man.
for hubby here. Oh
Man,
my days, Ram
madness.
Ram. Oh my days.
Madness.
Oh my goodness. We were just talking about the Ursher incident there, and we were
Ursher,
praising the
To that girl,
yes.
yeah, you put a ring on that girl's finger.
There
for
you
sure.
go,
That's what
bro.
we were
Anybody
saying.
see the Usher debacle there? It was quite interesting. Anyway, all right, Dave's dumbest trade o'day.
Okay.
Oh boy. Goog call August 21st, 26, 3:55 strike just got in. Ram, you going to take that? Ram, we need a comment back from you in the chat, man.
Oh.
Someone just dropped 10
What's it
in
saying?
the chat. I just read it, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you're concentrating. It's all good. All right, guys, out of CYCU. This one's got a topping tail candle in the 73. I just didn't like the fact that the topping tail candle, and it's a doji candle too, set up at a key technical level, and this current candle is got a lower high. It's not a lower low quite yet. It seems to be a buyer at around 69, but you know, I felt like maybe this one could be turning a little bit here. So I got out. If it can kind of show me that it can take out some of the sellers at 72.5, 73, we could get back in. Otherwise, I'm just going to steer clear this for now. We're still holding keel at 12s. It's showing me 21s, 21. But I'm not ready to add or do anything on this one quite yet. I think maybe if it moves back in to the mid to high teens, I could add on this one because that upward channel on keel is still looking pretty good. But here we go. CYCU back in to 72 territory. And again, it finds resistance. This could lose trend now, guys. 67, 66. This feels like it just lost prior bar low. Okay, so my spidey sense was right on this one. If we can take out 74, I'll get involved. But right now, we have a lower high and a lower low on the 5-minute setup. That is not for me at the moment. I have to set up in a bit of a better way. I'm seeing possible support at 65 to 62.5. So we'll see if that ends up coming in. Yannick, any movement on JMKE? Let's have a look. So, of course, we've got Jersey Mike's IPO coming in today. It should be, you know, maybe the next hour and a half. No, Nick, sorry, who was that? Yannick, $23 on the dot. Neil, you guys were watching the tap all morning, right? It's been 23 most of the day. Hasn't moved, says Neil. So, you know, there you go. It's been locked in at 23. Let's bring in the imbalance locator and take a quick look at how many shares they've paired off. So this is going to be on the New York. So let's go ahead and switch from NASDAQ to New York. Apply, okay. There it is right there. Oh, this is a light bunch. We've paired about 3 million shares so far. There's a sell side imbalance to the tune of 65. We'll see how long that lasts, okay. So that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing paired volume about 3. The imbalance size is still decently large at about 65. We'll see how this ends up going. I'll keep updating you guys on the theoretical auction price as well as the imbalance locator. All right, continuing to watch CYCU come back in. Looks like it might have some support here as I kind of predicted around 66, 65. Let's see if it holds up. And then I got out of GVH because, well, it feels like it's going to break down, and here comes the breakdown and the loss of VWAP, bleeding its own blood down into 112, where the players are certainly not dwelling here, but that's all right. Any small cap gappers, guys, that I've missed? I'd love for you guys just to get my attention on this one because I'm not liking anything right now. I gotta be honest with you. Other than the ones that I'm just involved in. CBRG, I could get involved in this one possibly at 380 for a VWAP bounce, because that's what, yeah, you know, we could probably get a little bit of support at around there. Couple of reasons for that, guys. You guys often ask why I'm getting long at VWAP. Well, there's two reasons. One, the shorts, who you know are short 420, 415, 410, oftentimes their profit target is the volume weighted average price. So they're buying there. So sometimes you get a bit of a short covering bounce. But also the longs, like myself, are looking for VWAP. So sometimes you get double the buying at the volume weighted average price because shorts are covering as well as longs getting in. So that could be an entry as well. Zion says PN. You know, Adam has been pounding the table on PN, I think pretty much all morning. So let's take a look at PN. For whatever reason, man, the charts today are a finicky bunch.
Not starting.
Yeah, I know, right? PN, yeah, I don't know, man. Jeez, look at this. It already froze again. It just loaded and then it froze.
Yeah, mine
again.
were doing that earlier too.
They were doing that, eh?
Yeah.
All right, we're good now, Joey. So let's throw that on. PN. All right, your boy Joey's in a new position. We're going to find out super quick what it is. Look, guys, if PN can get above 19, I could get interested. Until then, I stay clear, Joey.
All right, good stuff, man. So again, we're engaged in this trade. We get out a couple cent loss, right? And it just tanks. And then the reason for me getting back in here is to curl back over. This could just be a liquidation grab. And then maybe we get a little bit of a move higher. But if that's not the case, considering I put on another, this is the largest position of the day. I added another quarter, so 25%.
Oh, yeah.
That is, see, look, you see mine loading up here? It's been doing that all day.
Yeah.
So if we break and don't have any form of a rebound, then it's either I'm just too early or it's not going to happen here on today's session. So we're accepting of both fates, right? So we're in this looking for this some form of a pullback because this morning run has been met by zero buying after that, right? And it's just been straight downside here. We're only up about 1.5% now on the day. Cracks 25, then we have to get out, and it is what it is. Meta looks like it wants to get a little bit of a move going here. It's tough consolidative day here within this specific underlying asset, guys. Just hugging the volume weighted average price, though we will give it credit where credit is due, and then finding somewhat of a rebound. But the volume just not supporting that breakout once again. All right. So yeah, definitely. Maybe we just avoid some of these tech names and head over to small cap land, especially if we're looking for the longs in the momentum. I think it's at some point we have to come to the realization that it's not working and we just accept it for what it is. And I think that's going to be the narrative with poor NVDA. Someone was asking me in the chat, again, even though I'm trading it, I wouldn't suggest looking for something along these names. There's so many other different underlyings, and I like what okay.
What happened?
All right, well, we just got a strong flush here on the tape. Look at all these orders hit the ask, Sharif. Look at that. You see that?
Jeez. All same gateway? Where's your gateway on that, man?
No, I don't. It doesn't, like, me determining. Yeah. What is that?
Just so you can know if they're coming on the same print, my boy.
That's fair. But if it hits the tape, like they could
Sure.
sweep the market, then sure
Absolutely.
you can hit a bunch of different gateways. But yeah, that was some strong buying there. Let's see if that can be continued. We did add some more size to it. So help stuck in ONDL. What would you do? Should I hodl? I don't know if this is a small cap name. I'll leave that up to, I don't know is that even a ticker? ONDL. I don't even see that. Or is it ONDI?
Yeah, there's ONDL, Joey. It's I think it's a long. It's the leverage long. I've seen it before.
ONDL?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Ondas? Yeah, if it's a leverage play, then you have to get out. It's
Say
that
it again.
simple, man. These aren't long-term investments. Like the only reason you should be trading with these vehicles is from an intraday perspective. Short-term swings with momentum. All right, and you better pray because you want to INTZ. How are you gonna keep ITEZ? I've never even heard of this one here before. But yeah, you can't hold these things. They're not investment vehicles, these leverage products. That's what's so frustrating about what's going on in South Korea and across the board, right? Like you have people holding these products who don't really know what happens from a decay standpoint. And when your underlying asset just gets hit really heavy, it needs double the recovery. All right, it irks me just knowing that people get stuck in these positions, but they don't care because they'll just take your money. They just know the market doesn't have any emotion. These guys, it's not about ethics in the stock market, unfortunately. So yeah, here it is, right? Like you get this pop volume, but immediately met by some form of selling. We'll have to hop out of this bad boy momentarily as Meta is heading towards the lows. Yeah, all right, so there it goes. It cracks again, so 5 cents. If this support level breaks, then we do have to get out of this position and look for some small cap trades.
That's what I want to hear, Joey. That's what I want to hear, man.
I like the Momo, right? I like the style
Momo.
of momentum, and we're just not getting that right now.
Mike, GY. Okay, first of all, I want to call out WLDS. Bovin just called that. I told Bovin I don't like it because it's too light of volume, but WLDS is up 25, almost 26% here. So let's put some respect on this one's name, but the volume has zero respect here. 837,000 shares done on the day. Let's look at GY for Mike. Hey, GY. Just looking quick here. Sorry, guys. The charts are a little finicky today, so we're just going to have to pack a little patience while I do that. Corey Marshall dropping 5 nice ones in the chat. ITEZ. Sorry, he says. Look at that one in a second. Adam James abroad. DFNS. Boom. I'm watching it, man. It just popped up nicely into about 85 3/4, showing 82 right now. Pack your patience there. Corey Marshall as well with the earlier super chat at 199 saying, help. Stuck on ODL. Oh, that's the one that Joey covered. Thank you for that. And then Augustus Plays, 199 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. You hear Ken Griffin's story? Bought out Leopold. No, I didn't hear anything about this. Did you hear about the Ken Griffin story?
No, I haven't.
I don't know anything about this. Tag me, brother. I have no idea. I'll check it right now while we send it up to Sia and Neil for happening now. But I just want to cover those supers first before we went, guys. So yeah, we're going to send you up to Sia at the moment for happening now, and then Neil has his lesson of the day.
Let's take a look at the major averages before diving deep into what is happening now, because we do have a cruise line we're talking about. The SPY currently up 1% on the day. The triple Q's up over 2.5%. Not a bad look here for the triple Q's. Dow currently up 0.68%, and you have the IWM inching closer to 8%. Let's take a look at 2 tickers. I did talk about Qualcomm here just a couple minutes ago, but there was another thing that I just wanted to mention that was coming in, saying that Qualcomm's exposure to the China data center market is similar to that of its rivals. It's currently pulled back a little bit from the uptick that it was causing. It's trading around $151.5 at the moment. Let's also take a look at the cruise line that I was talking about. NCLH is what I want to discuss. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings falling over 7% on the day, trading around $19.21. Its quarterly expectations today has been hit, but it has lowered its guidance. So its competitors have highlighted the impact of the Middle East conflict. But Norwegian CEO John Chidsey has said instead that, quote unquote, it's mostly on them and not the macro. And he continued saying that, and that the vast majority of the company's problems are all along self-inflicted. So with that, you have Norwegian, that is NCLH, down close to 7.5% on the day. But before we head back, Neil, give us your lesson of the day.
Thank you, Sia. Discipline is always a valid lesson and a good lesson that you have to have. Discipline is the kind of thing that will get you away from FOMO. It'll limit your losses. It will give you the ability to bounce back a little bit better because when you're wrong, you don't lose as much. All of the things that you've probably heard a million times. But I think today it's just very instructive when you get a big move up, because oftentimes, even if you're looking for long, probably the easiest way to get FOMO. And sometimes people say, oh, FOMO is about, or revenge trading or just bad decisions usually comes from like taking a hit. I would actually argue that a lot of times, like what can lead to the worst trade is the FOMO of missing out on something big. And this morning, insert long anywhere. I mean, I'll use the example of Microsoft, where we've seen time and time again on earnings, stocks gap up. They're looking like parabolic because they're gap double digits on a big cap tech name, big to, not necessarily mega cap, but big to mega cap. And we've seen like the dip opportunity be in there. In this particular case, if you were looking dips there was absolutely no chance to go. It was just a clean breakout trade. And if you haven't been a breakout trader in a very long time, because it's just not what the market sentiment is, you're sitting there on the sidelines for anything clean. Obviously, you can have a little bit of FOMO when that happens. You can look over it like a DRAM and have a little bit of FOMO. The best thing you can do, and there's a reason why every time it was coming back to me, you heard me say a few of the same things. If a stock, I'm not chasing. If a stock is is relatively weak and putting in lower highs as the market's breaking out, then that's a thesis that I can work with because that's a setup that makes money for me. Or something that I would talk about was a very specific setup that I was looking for. Show me something that has failed a breakout and is still a potential short, or it's at a key price level, right? So it's like, is it part of the thesis? Has it failed under resistance? Like that's what led me to, okay, now I'm just waiting around while all this FOMO happens for the stock that was underneath big resistance levels, underneath yesterday's close or yesterday's open prices. Like we're back to where we were 24 hours ago. And then it was like a hit it and quit it. And you got to be willing to get stopped out sometimes. I'll perfectly admit it's a different day if I don't take a stop out in SMCI the first time and just get it clean through VWAP, but that's part of the game. But what I think you need to be able to do is I even said, okay, well, after that was done, I want to see something which failed early and is putting in lower highs. There should be zero surprise that as the market is showing strength like this, my gut is telling me if I don't have long entries that I like or I don't want to chase a move, I'm going to look for things that are resisting that because it's the lowest hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit, it's a lot easier. Sometimes it's really easy to see something that is weak relative to the overall market and then just patiently wait for that. Look for that next opportunity that fits you. And this is not about, oh, this is the trade to have, or like look for something that broke out at the open and failed to continue and is now putting in lower highs because it's clearly counter trend to the market, and then I have a little bit of an edge looking at that trade. That's just what I'm looking at. It doesn't really even make a difference. That's not the point. The point is you could be looking at DFNS. Like you could be pivoting from, hey, these other trades aren't working for me and I FOMO'd missing out on DRAM and Micron and all of that. But hey, I like these small cappers, so let me go over here. I think I heard Joe say something along the lines of, I'm gonna look at some of the small cappers this time of day. Maybe you're waiting around for the IPO. It doesn't really matter. Maybe your alpha is looking for like an earnings play that gets going late, like a Starbucks. Like Starbucks pulls back in, puts in a higher low, and you're waiting for this to participate in a breakout. I don't care particularly what the setup is. The most important thing is that when you get into that mode of FOMO or a big market move that you may have missed, you can't go back in time. There is no, like, once DRAM has gone 44 to 48 and 48 to 51, you're not going back in time and getting that 10, 15, 20% move all over again. You're not going to find a Bloom Energy that's going to give you 20% or whatever the heck it was off of the open. That's just not going to be there. You can only rest back on the trades that are in front of you. Maybe it's a pullback into VWAP and bounce play, where you just look and take a fraction of the move. You can't recreate this parabolic action. You just have to look for the regular trades that are going to be there. And I know, like, it seems like it's boring, but guess what? On a day like today, there's a really good chance that the trades you find after, say, 10 o'clock or during the midday are going to look a little bit boring relative to what we had at the open. That's completely inevitable. You're not going to see Bloom go $40 at the open and then go another $40 in the middle at lunchtime. It's just not how it's going to be. So if there's a reason to focus back on the setups that work for you, or just going back to, okay, these are things that work in the middle of the day, this is what I look for, having that kind of a rule base or that kind of an approach is even more important on days like today. Because FOMO will have you looking left and right at Bloom Energy and IREN and DRAM and Micron that have had these ridiculous moves, and Microsoft. But that's gone. That was gone in the first 15 to 20 minutes at the open. What's left are the opportunities out in front of you, and that is what you have to focus on. That's what discipline means. That's why, don't worry about focusing on what happened in the past. Traders should not be living in the past, and sometimes 15 minutes ago was the past. Sometimes 5 minutes ago was the past. Focus on what is next. If you want to reflect on the trading day and how you did, do that journaling after the close. You've got work to do, which is to get back in and look for what the opportunities are right here and right now. And a lot of times, there's going to be a ton of FOMO, and you have to take a step back and realize you cannot go back 30 minutes ago and try to recreate those moves. Just look for what works. That time of the day, what you usually trade. You know what I like, and I know what I like, so I just go right back into that. And then I find one or two of those, and a red day turns green. But it's not really even about that, because I actually hate that nonsense. It's not even about that. It's simply about finding something that is positive expectancy for you and ensuring that that is what you are doing. And then you do a little bit more of that and go on and on. But congratulations to anyone that happened to be in Bloom Energy, man. That stock is absolutely insane. Can we just, before we throw back, I haven't touched the lunch, so I can't give you I can't give you my judgment on how the lunch tastes. It's rice and, it's like a rice and chicken. So, but it looks like maybe like a teriyaki chicken. I'm guessing. I don't really know. I haven't tasted it. So let's call it, I'm just going to call it teriyaki chicken. But here's the best. Let's end it by this. Come to my chart for a second. If you were a breakout trader, whoops, there's a DRIN. So when I type, usually if I typo a BS stock, nothing comes up. IREN. Unbelievable breakout trades that you've seen. Unbelievable. Microsoft continues to make highs. Anyone that was in on this, you have to love it. But I'm going to end with this fact. Something's up with ARM. You would think after a good quarter in the rally that we're getting, I know it's up 7%, there's something a little bit fishy here. So it's only day one. I wouldn't overreact to it. It's only day one. But there's something weird about the amount of selling that is going on at the actual overnight highs. Right? Not the overnight highs, the Fed highs. So this one's a little bit fishy. All is forgiven as long as it can get above and hold VWAP as the market goes. But that's just a thought. I keep wanting it to be a breakout trade and catch up, but it hasn't happened yet. But patience requires you not to do anything while this seller is still intact. And that's what I'm getting on about, patience, and waiting for it to be true. If it's buying above there, then I have to wait till there's buying above or I don't make a trade. That's what it's all about. Going to send you guys back to the midday. It's Joey options. It's Sharif. Still waiting on Jersey Mike's. Literally no change on Jersey Mike's. $23 has been the tap the entire day. This might be the most boring IPO I've ever seen in terms of the indicated open, but we'll have it for you anyways. Good luck, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
There goes CYCU. Oh, man, I put the breakout trade at 71 and it ripped right into the hole. 81 pennies were halted to the upside. 81 pennies. Halt time options, man. 12, 11, 15. Earliest open, 12, 16, 15. TIFF. But I shall not disappoint you any longer. VinFast continues to expand beyond just vehicle sales. Joey, this week, VinFast India, they partnered with the great people at Shriram Finance to support EV financing access. And then Green SM, for their part, they launched an all-electric ride-hailing service in Kazakhstan, and they're actually using VinFast's VF6 vehicles together. These moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. And if you're interested in learning more, you can certainly find them trading on the Nasdaq under ticker VFS. Thank you very much.
Shriram.
Yeah.
Shriram.
Shriram.
Oh, I was saying it right the whole time.
That duo ended up helping you somehow.
It's Ram is a god. So
say it again.
Shri Ram.
Shriram.
Ram.
Shriram.
Ram. Yeah. Not like
Shriram. All right, man. All right. Anyways, please take it off that Sharif there. That guy was crazy,
bro.
But no, in all seriousness, correct me when I'm wrong. I have no issues with that, man. No shame held around here because you know why? Oh no, we didn't want to take that off.
Oh my days.
Good boy, Joe. That's crazy. Don't ever do that again.
Do it, Joey.
Here it is. No, but in all seriousness, guys, that's what we were talking about on multiple occasions, right? Get smallest position. Look for that bounce. It doesn't happen. Get out. Same thing again. We have almost 2 times the amount here. Boom. No continuation. No problem. Get out. So what did we take? From 27.30 down to 24. 5 cents worth of risk. Okay? We take that off. Now we get right back in at 27.30. I said not today. I'm sick of your ish. We're gonna hold on to this. Yeah, uno momento, please and thank you. So what we'll do here is 27.30, right? So we take 5 cent loss here. What do we get with the largest size on the day? We wait until 50s. So I mean, 20 cents, a 4 to 1 compared to what we had before, and more share size. So that's how it works out there. And we're fortunate enough that we are rejecting VWAP, but guess what, Shreve?
Yes, sir.
The SPY is right back at the high of the day. And also, guess what?
Say it ain't so.
We're going over the desk.
The IWM might just hit being up 1% today. It's up 0.77% at the moment. Let's take a look at 3 individual tickers. CLW, that is Clearwater Paper Corporation. That is down close to 2%. Now, there's just price target that has been raised to $20 from $17 by TD. We're going to take a look at STRA. That is Strategic Education, has reported revenue of $337.26 million, which is up 4.9% year over year, and a diluted EPS of $1.71, which is a 24.8% increase when compared to the previous year ago quarter. Let's also take a look finally at NUWE. Now, this ticker, NUWE, is up over 127% on the day. They've announced the acceptance by Frontiers in the pediatrics of a new single-center retrospective study supporting alternative anticoagulation strategies. This ticker up, well, over 133% on the day.
Case, I don't know why it's not letting me message you, but I'm out 426 on Key EL. There goes CYCU. It's Rip City. Rip City into the high. 96 penny high. We got 71. We're looking at 96s. Can we get above the dollar options, man? The answer to that question, asked and answered. Into the halt at 102. Let's go, CYCU. Rip City. Rip City. All right, we need a few more seconds lest this be a false halt. 3, 2, we're halted.
We're halted.
Boom! What a move up by CYCU. You know, the spidey sense was tingling a little bit, Joey, here, because straight up, it wasn't failing like many of the small caps who have failed this week. So it was like, get it, Tish.
Attaboy, Trav, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Bovin.
Trav man says he's back. Brother, you never left.
My man.
Hit the stone cold on that one. I can't count my boy Travman out there. Gorev, I haven't seen you in the chat today. Los Pollos was saying, "What up, Blicky?" We know we're in. We know Blicky's in the chat, and most definitely Casey's in the chat as well too. So now
he just nominated Tisha for president.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm gonna nominate Tisha for prime minister, my boy.
Oh, Canada.
Tisha for PM.
Here's this pullback, right? So I mean, we have a little bit more, about 15% of our position remaining. Let's see if we get another strong one here, push through the volume weighted average price. But right now it's acting like a defense system right now at this 195 marker.
A Patriot defense system?
A Patriot defense system right there. So let's see what 194 brings us. I don't love the shelf that's being formed, right? And then look at this. I'm screaming. I'm like, oh, yes, meta. Maybe it'll finally start going. But if we keep an eye on our volume by time profile, at no point, you do have that one isolated volume print, but at no point does the volume step in and you're like, oh, okay, wow, we're really going to get going right now. If we'll zoom in here on our volume by time profile, we're ready to get going. But then look it's immediately met by. That's the thing that I hate. I dislike. Hate is a strong word. I dislike seeing the most is that you have these strong moves, but then it's just instantly met by stronger volume to the downside. Now, listen, I better walk away. Listen, I'm going to get all out. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the money and run. It's what I was preaching to Hangry Wife here today. Now, we were negative on the day. We took 2 losses on NVIDIA, but that one win puts us at 3 times what our loss was at. So we're sitting in Greensville, USA at this point. So it's just like, hey, if you're not seeing what the market is showing you, or you're giving back too much realized and or unrealized gains, take it, and it's AC Slater. Let's go do something else. Now back into my spiel when it comes to in regards to the volume by time. All right. So this is volume, time makes sense. Okay. Moving forward. So what we got going on here is a nice breakout through a consolidation zone, but we didn't have the increase in volume. And once again, as soon as we peak and we run into a supply zone, you see the volume, the sell volume really step in and hammer price down. So it makes it significantly more difficult to trade these breakout style moves if the volume isn't supporting it. Okay, so that's why we always consistently talk about effort and result. If you know, right, cause and effect, effort and result, if you know, then it's really important to keep your eye on these things. Now, I'm happy that we got out of this NVDA 2730. It did take a couple attempts, and listen, I was going to stick to my strikes at the plate. As frustrating as it may have been, 3 strikes, you're out. We're fortunate to, we're not going to call it a grand slam or anything along those lines, but we ran into scoring position with that one, Sharif, and it worked out fine for us.
Can I run a stat by you that you may or may not know?
Yeah,
but I think you or the viewers will be quite surprised. I was mentioning this to Neil in the morning, and I think Neil probably doesn't want to hear this again. But what can I do?
Yeah.
Vladdy Guerrero.
Yeah.
Has yet to hit a home run at the Rogers Center, and we are well past the All-Star break.
Yeah, I know, man. It's not.
How many bangers does he have in general? Like, what has he got? 20?
He's got he has like 6 or 7, man, max.
Are we kidding?
No.
Is he injured, man? What's going on with him? Yeah, he's got to be injured. I mean, how is he? Dog.
You didn't bring in season. Yeah. Well, that was the issue. So I don't know what. Maybe he's dealing with something, but he has been playing absolutely horrible. So if that was the case, you sit out for a while because what he's been doing hasn't really been helping the team, and you allow someone else to step back in. But yeah, you know what it gets like in the Dominican Republic, man.
What?
Crazy there.
Oh, you think so? You think it was off-season?
Well, I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, you go back with all those American dollars. But no, listen, I thought Vladdy was really going to elevate. Like, that's what happens typically when you see teams go to the finals. Yeah. Even if you win or lose, you come back the following season. And it's not that you necessarily carry the momentum. It's just that you've leveled up as an individual and as a player in general.
Well, yeah.
And it was the polar opposite for Vladdy, unfortunately.
Resumption in 3, 2, 107 high. It's going to fail. Looking 103 buyer. It's going to fail 1 out. Out there. All right. Prior bar low, 86. Look for support in and around 86. Current bar low, 92. Showing 95. Watching. Let's see what the trend is on this one. I'm just going to switch to my 5-second chart, which will probably take more than 5 seconds to load, but it's okay. 108 high, below $1 right now. CYCU, the ticker. No trend yet. You know, you're still definitely within the range. Oh, okay, we just made a new bar low. 90 pennies on the dot. Current bar low. Again, 86.50 prior bar low. I'm talking about this one right here, okay? Watch out for the loss of prior bar. Halt level, prior halt level, not the one we just came out of, 81. So if that fills, we're probably going back to 75, 65. Continuing to watch, nothing to do yet. This, even though I'm yelling a little bit bearish, pardon me, right now, this current bar has a higher high and a higher low. I think things change if we lose 86 or 85, right? Right now, trend is still intact, even though, we're below the dollar, because we have a higher low and a higher high. So that's just the point that I wanted to make there, but I'm very interested in getting back into this one. There haven't been too many that have been gapping up quite aggressively, but the fact that we're below $1 now kind of, I had a little bit of egg there, Joey. Yeah.
Save some for later?
Keep, I'm gonna stay out of this one, is what I'm trying to say ineloquently here until I see a little bit more. We're still in trend, but we're also locked in the same range that we're in. 108 high, 90 penny low right now on CYCU. So nothing for me at the moment, Joe.
All right, yeah. Colleen likes, Listen, I don't know. Like, I mean, we took an attempt on it earlier, and it was kind of the same narrative. I wish I did what I did over here with NVDA, is just get out at the break of this trend line. And I mean, you can already get in at a price in which we sold our last chunk at cheaper than what we sold it at, right? So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this name. We've already had multiple attempts on the breakout, and it was just met by hectic defense.
Look at this thing.
Okay.
Look how long it takes to load. Like, look how long I've been waiting for the 5-second chart to come up there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's glitchy.
such a
It's
piece of
glitchy
crap,
here
man.
today. Apparently, people are pounding the table about the new platform that they have there.
What? IB?
Yeah.
Oh,
Have
the
another
desktop
one?
one?
I think so.
Yeah, I downloaded it and never
Yeah,
used it.
Never
Did
used
you?
it. No, I never used it either. Maybe we'll figure it out. Our boy Nimrod was actually saying.
Where is
using
that
as
guy?
well.
Yeah,
He's
you heard
doing his
anything
thing.
from him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you
doing
have,
his. He's doing his.
Good, bro,
he's doing
good,
his thing,
good.
obviously. But no, in all seriousness, guys, let's see what else we got going on. Caterpillar up 2%. Off of those highs. I just don't know. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to do. We're going to head over to the options chain. So you hit a 26% off of the highs here to that local low, off the highs to that local low. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a good time for the short side of things for Mr. Big Boy Burry. Let's see what, okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Head over to the options chain, and we're looking at that $500 marker, right? No, we don't want METU. We want META. Now, as for this week's expiration cycle, we had to scroll all the way down to 500, which the size has increased. So there's a base there, right? There is a supply zone. You have the options writer. Congratulations. You collect $30 as of tomorrow, as long as you don't break the lows. And we have a 60% IV. So that can be a little bit of an uptick for this name without question. Then we were talking about Microsoft also bright and early this morning at approximately 8:25, and I was mentioning this $430 marker that is clearly under the water right now. So congratulations to whoever's successfully long this name from earlier. No way. Okay, that is insane. So let's pull this contract up. Good thing we have the ability to do that around here, Sharif. So $15. Look at the appreciation within this contract is absolutely insane. And I mean, people hit home runs with this. Obviously, a lot easier said than done. But look at this. You close at $1.40, and then now you're trading at, that's VWAP. Hold on, I got to compress this a little bit more. I'm not doing any justice. So if you were to be like, hey, I'm going to buy this $430 strike price at the close for just under $200, well, congratulations. There's your 1,300%, just like that, with an absolute monstrous move in some of these contracts. That's the beauty of them, and that's what our guy Trav Man for Real does in the chat really well. He's buying these far out of the monies for dirt cheap, and when he hits those home runs, it's way out of the park, Sharif.
Man, these charts are really not good today. On my black charts, of course, not the white ones are fine. They are the work platform. They work stellar. Everyone was telling me, look at PN, look at PN. Yeah, I just saw it break into 19 there, but, you know, I had to load it on the white charts here. So breakthrough 19, this is the resistance area that I was looking at. And I don't think it's decidedly cleared through that. If we can get above 20, hold above 20, I'll get involved. But it's light on vol. It hasn't cleared the technical levels yet, at least for my liking. I know it says 1820, 1860 on the bid. I'm gonna have to deal with an extremely wide spread there, so I'm not a big fan. I'm gonna keep watching it though because, well, and look at this thing. Down, right, almost into a halt parameter. There's a 60 buyer here, otherwise it would be halting at 47. Come on, bro, give me a break. That is the kind of bamboozlement you wanna stay away from. That was from 19.25 down to 16.5 in one fell swoop. No, thank you. I want to mention CBRG and Keel. They're not sexy. They're not, you know, ripping or anything like that, but they're steady state. CBRG found support at an area I wouldn't have been punching in at, which is 390. Not an area that I saw as technical support nor psychological. So don't know why it was trading in that way. Let's check the 15. Maybe something overlaps. The 10 EMA on the 15. Multi-time frame confirmation, ladies and gentlemen. CBRG finding support at the 10 EMA on the 15. So maybe the best kind of view here, I'm going to leave it on the 15 on CBRG. Keel continues to put in higher highs and higher lows using the 10 EMA on the 5 as support. And it really hasn't breached that at all. What's the 15 look like? Yeah, not usable there. So I'd stick on the 5 with Keel. But looks fantastic, man. CBRG, we're about 10 pennies off the high of the day, 420 high, showing 410 right now. CYCU is going to lose trend here. We have this candle that breached into 108, and then we have the current candle, 1225, that it's putting in lower lows and lower highs. So I think we probably head back to 80 to 75. Maybe I'm wrong on CYCU. I'm going to keep it on watch, of course. That is, of course, if I can see it. As you can see, blanking out yet again on the black charts. Come on, IB. Come on, IB. Can't be doing this every day, man.
Oh.
Y'all suck. All right, let's get into CBRG here, Joey. CBRG. Yeah, I'm not going to look at that one for a sec. That's GCTK. I should probably leave this one on because this one hasn't a good opportunity. So let's put CBRG on here. And that is not on the Nasdaq, Amex? Yes, there we go. Amex stock, CBRG. 36%, 412 high. Yeah, this is setting up quite good here on the 15. I just think I may have missed my opportunity. And if I have to give it to support, I have to give it to 390. That's 21 pennies away. That's not what I want to do.
21.
That's not my move here. I can give it a random area like 5, 6, but it's not going to be based on technicals. So I got nothing on that one. So that's the look there. What else, man? What else? Any other ones that I'm missing, guys? I'm not a big fan of PN. I'm okay with GCTK. I'm going to leave it on the side chart here, but it's really CBRG for me right now, Keel and CYCU, if it can hold trend, right? So that's what I'm looking at. As always, though, guys, tag me if you want me to look at a small cap gapper. Ideally, guys, it's above VWAP. Above the pre-market high and all that kind of good stuff there. CYCU is getting a bid here. Here comes the dollar on CYCU. It's catching a bid. It just breached prior bar high, but it is still a downtrend. Okay, so let's see what we can do here on CYCU. Just got into the dollar, rejected. So good thing I'm waiting. Not done. Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all, Case. I'm just worried about the lower highs, right? And sometimes I say to myself, all right, just wait for it to get to the $1.08. Let it clear the $1.08. Take out all the sellers, and then we'll squeeze whoever's still left above. But that's all predicated upon it making it to another technical level like 125. And I don't know if we've got the juice for that. So let's keep watching here. Keel just pulled back in pretty aggressively. This is the first time on the day it's going to close below the 10 EMA. That's the first candle. So let's see what it does. The 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart is 417. 417 to 415. So let's see if it holds up there. Pathic. In kids at 54, it's moving now 61. Let's look at KIDZ. Oh boy, here we go again, Joey.
Okay, let me go over some super chats here
Sure.
We forgot Blicky. How do I go to jail for a Family Guy reference? Canadians are strict as hell.
It's not us, man. It's Streamlabs, man.
Streamlabs. Yeah, but we better fall in line there, Blicky. Otherwise, you get a slap on the wrist around these neck of the woods here. All right, guys. Cheese in a chair. $10 super chat. Listen, you shirt tuckers. I've been religiously buying shares of Canadian National Railway.
Alfred, is that you in the chat?
All right, yeah. Canadian National Rail. Every time it dips, and pretty soon you silly Canadians won't be able to ride the train without paying me. All right, well, yeah, congratulations. I was actually on it last summer, and I needed to take a little bit of a jaunt from Windsor, Ontario to Toronto, so hopefully you got paid on that one. Thank you very much,
Were you on VIA or CN? You were on VIA.
Yeah, I was on VIA, CN. Yeah, never mind, CN. Got those bad boys mixed up. But anyways, aside from that, I appreciate the shirt tucker comment.
Yeah, I do like that.
But so, yeah, I mean,
like, why is that a bad thing?
I mean,
I'm tucking it in. What's the big deal, brother?
Tucked in or tucked out?
Yeah. That's Seinfeld.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Is it though?
Betsy.
I was like,
George, yeah.
I was using it from a different movie.
Okay, well,
The Ringer with
I don't even know that
Johnny
movie.
Knoxville.
Okay.
When he's in the Olympics. Oh, you never seen that
No.
one? All right, yeah, tucked in or tucked out. But no, in all seriousness, guys, this is what I'm talking about. All right, let's see what everybody's up to. Then we'll get into some potential trades here.
Don't forget we got to go to the desk.
Do we?
too.
Okay, I didn't get that one. Meta not doing too much. Here it is to the downside, right? Like here's this trend still fully intact until it breaks it and you sit on the backside of this one. Then maybe you get another opportunity up to 27.65. Let's go over to the desk.
Let's take a look at what the markets are doing at the moment. The SPY currently up, inching close to 1.5% on the day. Let's start with electric tech. You have Apple down close to 2% now. Apple and Amazon reporting after the bell today, so important to look over here. Nvidia up 2% on the day. You have AVGO. Well, chip names overall, I'm seeing relative strength compared to the past couple of rough days they seem to have had. MU up over 15.5%. AMD, that's up over 12.5%. INTC as well, inching close to 12.5%. And all other names also seem to be in the green, with Dell also up 10% on the day. Tech services, Meta, not having a good day. It's almost close. It's going to be close to 10% down on the day. We saw the earnings report yesterday, and Sean and Neil also were not happy with it. The stock was tanking. Google currently flat. Microsoft, great day here, 16.5% now up on the day. You have Oracle also following that, up 6% on the day. Netflix, Palantir flat. You've CRM here also down 4.7% on the day. IBM down 2% on the day, and you have PANW that's up 1.3%. With finance, you have BRKB and Visa sliding towards the downside a little here. JPM up almost 2% on the day, and MasterCard that reported earnings pre-market today. Not a bad look here. The stock is up 2.2%. They reported earnings of $5.04 per share, beating Zach's consensus estimate of $4.77, and it has delivered a surprise of 5.66%. Not bad. MS and GS also up over 3%, whereas GS is up close to 4%. Retail trading of strength in Amazon here right off the bat, up 5.3%. All the other names in this sector seem to be pulling it down a little bit. Walmart, Costco, Home Depot all sliding towards the downside, with Walmart and Costco down over 2%, and TJX following the pack as well. Producer manufacturing, you have AMAT, CAT, and LRCX, with GEV showing significant strength, with AMAT, LRCX, and GEV up over 7%, LRCX up 16%, close to 17%, AMAT up 13%, over 13.5%. Whereas you have energy minerals, XOM and CVX lagging a bit down, 0.5% here. You've consumer non-durables, KO, PGP, MPEP also sliding towards the downside. The entire sector looking a bit of a bear over here. MO, that's down 9.2%. Health tech as well, not the best looking sector for the day. Lilly down over 3.5%. J&J down close to 3.5%. ABBV down 1%. MRK down close to 8%. Consumer durables, you have Tesla, that's upside of 2.9%. Consumer services, McD and Disney falling 2%, and McD is 1.5%. But you have industrial sector, this one named PWR, that's up, soaring over 13.5% today. FIX is up above 10.5% today, and also another name is EME, that's up, could hit 20% mark today, but it's up 18.2% at the moment. And finally, you have transportation and health services. Health services, I would say UNH up 1%, not a bad look. Non-energy minerals, you have FCX up 5%, not a bad look. In transportation, UNP down 2.2%, Uber down over 2.5%. Delta is up close to 2.5%. FedEx, technically flat, but red, 0.81% on the day. Dash also red, and CHRW looks like it's lagging, down 16% on the day.
So that's one tuck and one no tuck. Okay, Lupe? Who remembers this episode, man? And he never said you got that. That would be rude. Look at him in his little cap there, bro. What are you capping, man? There's nothing to cap there, my boy. Oh, my days. Look at Jerry on the desk, too. He's like, on the bed, he's like, well, what is this guy, man? They were arguing about the tuck and no tuck, right? Because George likes to, kick his feet in the air and have, what's it called? The sheets unobstructed. Shout out to my man, George, man. All right. You guys, I knew you guys would know that. Get it, Ichiro. All right, man, I've got nothing on at the moment. We got CYCU still hanging here south of the dollar, so we're going to hang out and see exactly what CYCU wants to offer us, if anything. It's got resistance at the dollar, but it does have several higher lows in a row, so this could be a decided breach of the dollar. But there's an aggressive seller at 102, and that is prior bar high, okay? Current bar high a little bit lower, 101. So we're putting in lower highs. By the same token, we're putting higher lows. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to do just this, okay? We're going to do this. We're going to go for a breakout trade here possibly. And that's not something that I typically do all that often, right? So let's go ahead and just try this. Oh, man, as I was about to do it, it's going to halt up. Come on, bro. Just as I was entering the position, there's limit up, man. There's limit up. Oh, my days. Just as I'm entering the position, it limits up. Yeah, that's the way it is, man. Old man hands can't hang. Anyway, we're halted up 113. What do you got?
All right, man. Let's head back over to our watch list here and see what we got going on from the banks. Because, I mean, we might have a double top here on the SPY. I mean, right at 739, so we can take a look at that options chain momentarily. But I want to see how these bad boys are performing on today's session. Oh, JPM. Yeah, fantastic stuff. I still have some in my long-term account, but I actually sold in my swing account yesterday at a pretty good price. I mean, it is what it is. Oracle up 6 1/3% on the session. Bigger picture, nothing really to write home about. In Walmart, the staples, who are actually really, really weak here today. The staples are, man, down 17% off the high is Wally's World. So a little bit tougher of a look. Now, Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs is still hovering around there. You're only a couple percentage point off the highs, but Chipotle Mexican Grill putting in a day, Sharif, as you can see reporting after the bell yesterday. A little bit of a continuation here right out of the gate within this name. So hopefully that'll be something positive for Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's coming to market relatively soon. I mean, it is almost 1 o'clock, so at any given point, I do believe it can open. So keep your eyes out on that one, there, guys. True. And look at the airlines. Airlines pretty strong today, right? So Delta Airlines up 2 1/3%, 2.8% for BA, UAL 2.8%, AAL up 2.9%, and Southwest here up 1.5%. Cruise lines getting shellacked, Sharif. So not too good of a look there. Boom to the downside. Straight. Did Norwegian report this morning? I can figure that out.
Norwegian Cruise Lines? Yeah, NCLH did report.
It did, yeah. So
it was down.
It was, and it is still down. So yeah, this is why we get out, right? Like, completely engaged. You have to take, this has to be taken into consideration, right? Like, it completely engaged. You're fortunate enough to get that pop. We're going against the grain. Things aren't doing what they wanted to do. We offload the position once the trend line is broken. And then guess what? Congratulations. We're right back to where we started. And it looks like the downward momentum is really going to start to pick up. Just as Joe said it, I was already on the short. Says T, what's up, yo? What's up, yo? I'm glad that you were, but what's not up is this name continuing to bleed its own blood, and the momentum to the downside is picking up in meta, guys. So be careful. Which angle are we on over here? My shoulders, Assassino. I can't move my arms too much. They're in real big pain. I didn't block it this time. I thought Neil was flexing over there. My shoulders are sore. I was icing. Man, I couldn't even sleep. I was literally up early in the morning icing my shoulders. So we got to see what we can go and do in the gym. It's going to be a leg day here, but nonetheless, I want to focus on what we got going on in the market. Never mind what we're doing at the gym. SoFi finally recovering here, up 4%, 15.98. Bigger picture, how are we looking? Not that great, but sometimes, to the downside, right? Yeah, sometimes something is better than nothing. And when you ask, please, sir, can I have some more? The market will only give you so much.
Please, sir, could I have some more rings? It's like it rings a bell as a joke, but it's not PG-13, hence cannot mention here. Guys, as the sell goes, as the bloom goes over here, the sell right back up into 23. I'm talking about F-sell, of course, one of the swings. We're still holding a piece, even though I did get stopped out of some of the sell through 20, which is fine. We're still holding the piece. So we'll be doing that. Now, Joey, I wanted to get your opinion on something, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
I have this feeling that Bloom could be caught in a consolidative range for a while. Would you recommend I sell calls on that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The shares, yeah.
You want to take a quick look there? Think about, especially if we get caught in that 200 to 300 range. What do you think about that?
What am I looking at?
No, not intraday. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, it doesn't
look at that technical support level that we bounced off.
I think that's going to be
a little bit to the left. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That 260 price, that's going to be resistance. Maybe between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring it down so everybody can see?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go to the left a little
put it
bit.
on a different chart.
On a different chart?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about maybe selling, like I've never sold calls before, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, I wanted to, generate a little cash.
Yeah, a little extra cash
cash,
flow there.
Cash
From the
flow.
daily.
Yeah, so see that shelf?
This one
So
here.
look how cleanly we bounce off
Yeah,
that
you bounce
shelf,
off
right?
that.
That's an aggressive bounce.
Yeah.
And then I think we probably stick in a range. If we break out, fine, they get called away. I don't really care.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Open.
Yeah, go 260 if you want.
260. 260? Okay.
Yeah, we can figure those out.
I'll probably have to message you again later today about that, but
Yeah, as long
for
as
now.
you got the, don't forget, one contract equals 100 shares.
Yes. No, we have more than that.
You have to have 100 shares.
Yeah, I have more
Okay,
than
okay,
that,
yeah.
All right, guys. Watching here, set 120 resistance, big seller on CYCU at 120. There is a large seller there. 19 now selling. Can we ascend? 20 showing up. Current bar low. 113. Loses it to 104. Back into 114. Okay? So current bar low, 104. Current bar high, the high of the day, 120. We're just stuck in the middle here. Do we hold one? That's the thing. We're going to try this. Let's see if we can get through that 120 area. We're going to put a liquidity tester. We'll defend into 1 on this. So let's see exactly what we get. We won't get upset. They're selling at 18, 19, 20. There's that 20 seller again. Can't shake the 20 seller. He's got too much conviction. Look at the amount. There goes 121, 22 options, man. All right, we get the fill. Let's post at 25 as well. And then let's keep an eye here on some possible dip areas. I'm going to pick up some, I think, near current bar low, which is 104, as I mentioned, right? We're still dealing with that fifth of a dollar seller. Sells at 20, 21, 22, and in that area, even 19. So somebody's defending up a storm here at the fifth of a dollar, and we can't shake them at the moment. So we're going to pack the patience here, see if we can take this into the quarter dollar. Otherwise, I defend into the dollar, and if it loses the dollar, I stop out, right? So that's what I'm going to be thinking. That's my plan, but I just want to see if this one wants to kind of rip up as it has a tendency to do on the day, okay? I've got nothing else. This is really the only one that I'm watching right now. Yes, much better price. Appreciate you, Tish. Let's see what we can get, if we can get a little bit better there in possibly, the single digits. I'm going to put some dip trades here, lest this one go against me here. So we're going to put it for a small amount, right? And then we're going to defend, I guess, into that 104 level, right? So I'm going to put it at 6s. There's 23, 24. No continuation in 24. 24 showing up again. So I'm waiting at 25. Probably behooves me to wait above 25 as well. There's a 24 seller. There's a freaking seller everywhere, man. Get out of the way, bro. Boom, and the 29 options, man. 32, 33. Looking for more. Give me my money, man. Let's go, baby. CYCU, him, her, everything else. Keeping an eye on this one. We're looking for the $150 right now on CYCU. What do you got, Joey?
Get that guy out of here, man. We don't want that garbage.
Who's that, man?
Don't step against the team. Tell him right now. Boom.
Get it,
Blown
Joey.
away. Ribeyes, says Adam James abroad.
Oh, that's
JPM
beautiful.
says no loon. Where's my money, says Blicky. Ozink, boom. No loon. XLF. Like, we're all over the map, but we can go and take a look at XLF without any form of question. If there's anything that you guys want to look at in the chat, please tag Sharif and I, and we will go over that. But we're rocking and rolling here today. It's been a good one, it sounds like, across the board. We talk about risk to reward from a daily basis and how important it is. As much fun as we like to have here as a show, right, and as a collective unit, but I mean, as a team, I guess we could call ourselves, even everyone in the chat, is just that we want to make sure we stick to those risk measures, all right? So you can have fun, but make sure you're playing the game correctly. You got a new position?
Halted to the upside. That's
Halted to the Y. What is it? CYCU?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you later as we send over to the desk one more time.
Let's look at what's going on in the money markets. Well, let's start right off the bat. USDJPY here, not a good look. Trading lower, 2.4% on the day. Biggest decline since December 2022 when the BOJ had surprised markets with a change in its bond yield control program. So the USDJPY pair currently trading around 159 region. Cause of the market move is not immediately clear and also unclear whether Japanese authorities seem to have intervened or not. The Bank of Japan, however, expected to leave its policy rate unchanged at 1% as of today. Markets are focused on any signals about the path of the future policy, so that is not the best look for the yen over here. The DXY trading around the $100 region right now. It's down 0.80% on the day. I would say it's trading. It was trading near 99. It just briefly right now also touched 99, but it is currently at 100. Again, it's a bit weaker against all of its peers as of today. It's not a good look for the dollar here as well, or the Japanese yen.
Thank you so much for that, Sia. Great information as always. CYCU. Joey, we haven't moved on the top.
No.
So the halt price is 135. The app has been showing 135. Adam,
okay.
I know Adam's going to ask about the top, so we just want to update Adam as we can. And while we're updating you guys, let's just mosey on back here to no, Joey. That's the first time, Assassino, that I've seen JMKE, at least me anyway, show a lesser tap than 2275 options, man. Should we be looking for locates on this monster?
I messaged Neil. He said last time he messaged me they were $10 for 100.
10 cents per share, so $100. Yeah.
No, I think
for a lot, right?
Yeah, unless I read that
They just
wrong.
said 10 cents per share.
Okay, well if she knows, then by all means,
well, she's
I
probably
gotta
looking at it, right? She got it already, so she's looking to take. Adara's looking to take JMKE short. I don't disagree with that at all.
Look what this says right here, and that's what I was just going off of. So don't shoot the message. It's $13 for 100. Now it's $10.
Now it's 10. Yeah. So it's dropping
saying
here,
10 cents, which is fine, but I'm going off of it. Just
no, 10 cents per share. So if you look at 100.
Yeah. Okay, exactly.
All right, 135 still tap. Are we going up to the big desk or? Yes, we are. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Let's talk about JMKE. Jersey Mike, this is going to be going public, as we know, this was just mentioned, but I want to get into this. This is, in fact, the only time that I've seen the tap move, as well as the guys are saying. It was $23 all morning, now it's $22.75. That $23 was also its IPO price, in between that range of $21 to $25. Those lead underwriters, just a reminder, are Morgan Stanley, Jefferies, and JP Morgan, offering about $1.25 billion with a 43.478 million share offering. So that's a quick update here, what we're expecting from JMKE. Hopefully that opens up for us all soon, and you can find this infographic on X at TTV Research.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Yeah, we're continuing to watch here, guys. JMKE, it's still, let's take a quick look at the imbalance locator. We haven't done that in a minute. Let's see how many shares we've paired. Oh, no. Look at this, Joe.
Yeah, bud.
1 million sell side imbalance.
Oh,
no. They're going to sell it, Joey.
Sell it, man.
There you go. So sell side imbalance on JMKE. Guys, this is on the New York. If that makes a difference on your platform, Mike. On ours it does. Options, man. Paired volume close to 4.5 million shares. But this is a sizable share imbalance. To be quite honest with you, I haven't been watching the imbalance locator to make, a fair juxtaposition, but 1.5 is pretty large. It looks like it's getting a little bit bigger now. 2 million share sell side imbalance. I swear I can speak. So we'll keep tabs on that, but I'm going to keep my eye here on CYCU. Halt time 12:47:21. Earliest time that we open is 12:52:21. Current time 51:54. So we have another 30 seconds or so before the earliest open here on CYCU. The top still hasn't moved. $1.35. Packing the patience on this one. We were in very early on at 46 pennies on CICU, and here we are, almost $1 removed from that entry, having gotten in multiple times. It's been a good trade. It's been treating me well, as others. Watching here as we open 136. Now options, man. 37, give me my money here. Let's cancel that big 37 seller, guys. Can't shake the seller at 37. More size coming in right now. Let's see. Look for equal size to come in on the bid. We're losing it here, Joey. Out. Nope. There we go. Thank God I got out.
You're back in?
No, bro. It's going to limit down. So got out there for a profit, funny enough. We'll get back in if it's warranted, man. You know why? Because this candle, even though we halted down, has a higher high and a higher low on the 5. So even though we're halted down, that's just part of the game, baby, right? We'll get back in once we see trend resumption and what the tap is. So happy with this trade. And while we wait for that one to open, I know the degens, their hands start shaking, right? It's like they need the next fix I got your fix, baby.
Oh,
GCTK. Yeah, we're going there, Joey. GCTK. Shout out to Brian in the chat for pointing this one out. I had it on watch, but I wasn't alive to the move back above VWAP. And there it is, Rip City. Rip City. Into 44 options, man. But the high there is 46. That is the official high of the day because that earlier print was in the pre-market where we got into 46.97. So technically that 46 is not the high of the day, even including the pre-market. So I'm going to keep my eye here, focused here on GCTK, and it probably behooves me to throw it up on a trading screen, which I already do. 78 million shares traded so far, decent spread on a sub $1 name, but here's the thing. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get in on a breakout trade. And then you look at the 5-minute, and you're like, okay, well, if I had gotten in on the breakout trade earlier, how would it have fared? Let's look at it. Breakout trade at 8:05 a.m., fail, loses 24% before it bottoms out. How about this one? 12:05 breakout trade into 46, right? How much did it lose? 15% off the top. So I don't think the breakout trade here is the right move. Now that could change, right? So what I'm going to wait to do, see if we take out 46, maybe we get into 49, and then we fail again, at which time I may pick it up. So I don't want to take the breakout trade, even though it is very close to the high of the day. Look at this thing rip. And there goes the high of the day, 46.94. That matches the pre-market high and exceeds it. There is 48. GCTK, man, on its horse and could see the $0.50 sooner rather than later, up 65%, Joe.
All right, man. Let's see what our boy Trapman. I'm looking at the SPY here, guys, S&P, and I'm like, why are we at the high of the day? Like, what is really strong? So obviously, with that being said, you have to run through some of the sectors. And here's the XLF heading right back towards the high of the day with some aggressive selling right out of the gate. But as a collective unit, you can see that it's performing relatively well. Now, XLV was another name, right? We're just looking at the heaviest weighted sectors within the S&P, and you have obviously tech, then you have financials, healthcare, I believe sitting in that third slot. So, I mean, not a horrible look right here on XLV. I don't think the staples are performing very well. Here's XLP trading below the volume weighted average price, I believe. And we did have a slight gap down. We are looking at Costco and Walmart, which were both negative here bright and early this morning and have been continued throughout the day. So a little bit tougher of a look without any form of questioning, but this performing really well, guys. And Nasdaq, we're not too close to the high of the day here, but we're holding up on the volume weighted average price. This trend line is still fully intact. And with that being said, where are we going to potentially pull back into? You've seen, so when I seen this channel up, like no coincidence there, maybe there's a short on the backside of this trend. Okay. If it's not happening now, not the segment, maybe it'll happen a little bit later in the afternoon. So I'll keep an eye out on this within the via the TQQQs for a move on the backside of this trend specifically. Now, looking at something else, guys, Trapman and I were talking about NVDA, obviously, but he's looking for a little bit of a pop within that name in order just to get out of his contracts. Hopefully, we do get that move back towards the VWAP. As you can see that we are south of it here on Meta as well, too. Welcome back, Katina, man.
Get it, Katina,
How's
man.
it out there? Beautiful day outside. It's one of the best days. So that's what we like to hear, man. Every day is a little bit better, regardless of rain, sun, or shine. There's gold. Listen to gold. Look at silver. Potential base out here, Sharif. Sharif's punching keys right now. We're going to get something.
GCTK is breaking out.
There we go.
That's the thing. I had to take the breakout, even though I didn't want to, because it fails. So I'm going to stop out through 48. We're not going to allow this to go against me here. Because it fails, Joey, every time, right? So that's what I'm concerned about here. We took the breakout trade at 52. We've taken prints all the way up into 55. That is the high of the day, but I'm just waiting for the reversion because it's done it basically all day. So we're going to have to pack the patience here on GCTK, and I think we're about 10 seconds or so from opening on CYCU, so be ready for that if you're involved. We stopped out of that one. Here comes 55. Again, Joey options. This is the high of the day. We're looking for 6s on this one, but there is a very staunchy seller. CYCU open. Down goes Fraser into 11 there. Let's see if it bounces back up above 20. Watch out for this one, okay, guys? There goes GCTK into 56. We're still holding. So let's wet the beak here at 55s, and now we're going to put one at 59. And then we're going to see what we get there. And then we're going to put one at 63. Let's see if it comes up to that. Nothing changes about my theory of a pullback. I stop out through 48, come hell or high water. So let's see what this one does. Seeing CYCU pop right back above that 120 area. It is still south, pardon me, of the quarter. There it goes, 29, 30. Coming in on CYCU. Oh, my days. Katina, man, you brought all the volatility with you, brother. Because CYCU's ripping up. And then we also have GCTK ripping up, man. It's hard to concentrate on all these small cap gappers. And you know what the problem is, Joey? I put CYCU on the screen without the limit up and limit down indicator. So we're going to limit up here at 135. Now, that is the exact same level we limited up before we popped into 138 and lost trend. Halt up, CYCU. We'll update you on that one momentarily. Back to GCTK here, coming back into the half dollar. Do we defend? It's against me now, or I'm break even on it. Do we wait for reversion, or do we add into this area here? Let's see if there's a big buyer stepping in at the half dollar. We got a buyer here in the high 5.1s, low 5.2s. Are they defending? Man, and the thing about this one is if I put on the 5-second chart, I just know it won't load. GCTK, we're going to try because I need to spot trend here locally. And watch, it's not going to load, but that's okay. Yeah, it's like I can't see trend on the shorter time frame on this one. So here it is, buying at 52, buying at 52, so a little bit higher, but it keeps dropping into 51s. That could be a good sign. So there is a buyer here at the half dollar. Here we go again. There, we're going to add, boom, right into 55. Looking for 56 now. Let's set up at 56. No continuation above 55, though, options, man. So going against me a little bit here into 53. What do you got?
All right, man. Let's head over. I mean, we had this one trade that we're looking for some high-quality opportunities. Trav, man, hopefully that was the bounce that you needed in order for you to either lock in a little bit of profit or just get out of the position in itself. But a nice recovery off of those lows. But like, listen, I was getting worried that we were going to pick up some big-time momentum, crack through these, and then trend down for the remainder of the session. But it seems that we found somewhat of a base, and then now the momentum is definitely starting to pick up to the top side. I don't know if there's anything stepping in the market. What we can see from a volume by time standpoint is there's nothing really going on. Stair-stepping down on the 5-minute is the Nasdaq. That's never good to see, is dwindling volume, but punching through the high of the day is the SPY, heading right back towards the volume-weighted average price is NVDA, and doing nothing is Meta. Meta World Peace. Not over here, apparently. You know, Meta.
Where's
World.
he been at, man? I haven't heard anything from him lately.
Our boy Ronnie.
Oh.
You know your guy?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So I mean, there it is.
I'm not sure.
8% pullback. This is reasonable. Just get it over with. Like 3 days of excruciating pain. Obviously, if you come back about 8% to this previous base, then we can maybe start to climb and go for a nice little rip to the top side once again. So in the Nasdaq, I'm standing on business and I stand on firm ground with this one here, Sharif, is that I truly believe that from this point on is overextension. So this 12.5% unnecessary. Pull back from here, retest this, and then go off. Instead, we've been in this prolonged downtrend since the beginning of June, or second week of June, I should say. All right, now we're getting in August. That's no fun. That's small potatoes. But again, if you've been sitting on some cash, it can give you a good opportunity to get involved. So, or if you've been sitting on the sidelines, you can get involved. Before we send it back over to Sharif, you got a boom coming here momentarily. So here it is, $2,300. You're now down 46% instead of 55%. Not too bad of a look there on SanDisk.
Crazy compression pattern now happening with very obvious lower highs. The problem is it's got higher lows. I think this is going to fail personally. I think it doesn't break through that 55 where it has resistance, but the sellers are coming down incrementally here unless there's going to be a big buy order. Remove that 53. So I'm out. I'm out on this one. Let's see what it does. I could buy again if it doesn't fail 50. There goes 52, 51 incoming here. Let's see, 53 actually. So continuing to watch. If it takes out 55, I'll get in. The thing is, it just doesn't give you that much time. How long till resumption here? 12:59:04 current time, 13:03:04. So we still have another minute. on resumption for CYCU. Continuing to focus on GCTK. Man, it's right at that 52 penny level where it has support. The problem is it's just got a ton of lower highs. So yeah, I'm not going to touch this here. I don't think it holds 52. Let's see. We have another 30 seconds before CYCU resumes. Maybe this fails. Maybe this takes out 55. Let's see. I don't know. Just quickly here, let's look at CYCU. Top is 130, so it's slated to open a little bit lower at the moment. So that's not exactly good. Yeah, it failed 52. 51 holding, though. 51 is an area low. I'm talking about the area at 12:59 on the dot. It is 103 now. It's failing that area too, coming into 50. Careful with this one. Almost time for resumption, about 5 seconds or so here on CYCU. Okay, showing the 26s. There's a buyer here, 26, 27, 30, long, looking for continuation, 33, looking for a little bit more. Oh, down it goes. Fraser into $0.25. Anything below 23s, I'm going to stop out of this one. Seller at 30, 32, again, 34, 37, boom. Looking for a little bit more, Joey. Let's set up some profit takers to the high side because I'm just too slow with the keys today. 36 is now. Wow, this is all over the map. 36, 40, 42, boom. Up again we go. Into the freaking halt. 147 on CYCU. It needs to stay at this level here for a few more seconds. 147. We got 131s. Let's pack the patience here. What's that? It's
Jersey
open.
Mike's. Is it
See,
going?
perfect timing, man. Jersey Mike is open. It's 21 and a quarter, so it's already below the IPO price. So here we go. It's down 7%, as you can see there, because it is below the IPO price. 21.40 high. There it goes, 21.50. 21.73 options, man. It looks like we might be on the way to 22 over here. Keep your eye out on this. Wow, man, the volatility is fantastic today, man. I'm not going to lie. This is great. 2 hours have just gone by like that. I haven't felt it at all. What's going on over there, Katina, man? You got a short?
He's long.
Katina man is long there, bro. The Katina man is long at 21.80. Get it, Katina man. All right, man. That's what we're looking at right now. Keep a surprise, Katina man, of that position. But it is a 21.80. Half out, he says. Katina man is half out. We've already done 7 million shares options, man. 21.30-ish buyer.
All right, man. Good stuff.
Bathroom, bro.
Yeah, J Mikes, let's see what we got going over there. Katina, man, did you limit on opening on that, my guy? He did. So congratulations to that, as that is starting to pick up a little steam and cook up here. So not too bad of a look. Oh, okay. Is this wick genuine, Sean? I don't know. 21 bucks is where we opened. It opened at 21 and just went right off to the races. So yeah, not too bad. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So it does look like that's why I was looking short as well too, right? So hey, man, who knows? Anything can happen. J Mike's eating pretty good so far, up 30 cents off of that level, and then now looks like it wants to continue. So we keep our eyes on this tape, because if we continuously have orders hit at the ask and above it, then we can most definitely move a little bit higher. So not too bad of a look whatsoever on this one. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Oh, there it goes. Hey, bang, you blow right past it. So it was a nice ABCD pattern, climbing another 20 cents, just like that. Congratulations once again, Mr. Sean Katinaman. So yeah, good stuff. I like seeing that. We're still negative. That can't be right. Still negative 7%? Okay. All right. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh, is that why? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you're below there. So hopefully it's not all exit liquidity. Some people getting involved a little bit more. So not too bad of a move. Now, this is for you, our boy Trapman. We'll keep our eyes on the tape here. I do believe at some point we're going to crack 2120 on Jersey Mike's. So we'll just keep our eyes out and continuously monitor this. And if it does, then just watch out, because there could be some more. Or it could be one of those where it's just coming out of extremely strong. Adair has much more detail based off it, raising $1 billion, and I think at one point it was 10 times oversubscribed. So yeah, bang, there it goes, off to the races. I just don't know how much. Or how long this has the ability to hold up. Wow, 2160 streak and continuing to move higher. Yeah, it's performing pretty well here, and I'm not going to complain about it. There it goes again. Ooh. Wow, we might see $22. This is fun stuff, guys. Let me know in the chat if you happen to get involved with. Wow, there goes 22.
Wow.
We were talking about it. Yeah, some strong movement there. Hopefully no one's wow, up to 22.20. Wow, yeah, this thing's really starting to pick up some momentum.
Get it, Joey.
The volume isn't there. I don't know if we're seeing anything else on your platform, Street, but a strong, almost a 60-cent move in the span of 30 seconds right there on Jersey Mike's, only down 4.2%.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Yeah,
It's 23.
it's
Let me
looking
ask
really
you something,
good,
Joey.
man. Yeah, it's looking really good.
23 IPO price. You think there, if it makes it up there, it's big boy resistance or what? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think that. I mean, listen, 22. Look at this thing move. I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna say this: if
Yes,
some
sir.
of these, if SpaceX and some of these other major tech IPOs can't hold up, I don't know how much of a chance this stands. But again, I could be totally wrong, and this thing go nuts.
Why
for the
not?
next
Yeah.
couple of days.
Well, it keeps going higher, man. It keep making more days high. 20 seller, 22 seller, 22.20 seller. Okay, let's just go back to CYCU here for a second. Halt time 104.51. Earliest open 109.51. Current time 109.15. So we have about 40 seconds or so on this one. Down goes Fraser on JMKE, man. Down into 22. Current day high 22.18. Still holding 22 though. Be on the lookout for that. I just want to get ready here for the resumption. Adam, it's showing 149 now. Halt price 146. Most of the time, all the halts that we have been involved in, it was showing lower. 150 now, Adam, as we're pretty close to opening. 3, 2, 1. Boom, into the area high. Looking for a move above 50. It's failing. Into 41 out. 35, 33. Limit down 33. We need this for another 6 or 7 seconds. Guys, even though this is limit down, just like the other limit down, the trend is still holding. The higher lows and the higher highs are still in play. They really are, okay? Here we go, baby. We're going to get ready for this one. Show him, Joey. Show him, bro.
What do you want me to show him?
No, just
you're
getting ready
my
there.
My shoulder.
True.
My shoulder.
But you know what else is moving?
Yeah.
Your boy Jersey Mike just got into another high day, 22.37, baby. Oh no, Katina man, GCTK just ripped up through the high into 61. Katina man's printing on JMKE. Whoever's taking GCTK just got the high of the freaking day, and there goes 62. So that's a new high right now on GCTK. The small caps, at least for today, they are back, baby. We've got some good volatility, and I want to bring your attention to CBRG as well. Definitely not a big of a mover, but it's breaking trend, as is Jersey Mike, as it works a lot closer at options, man, into that $23 IPO price with a 22.6 high right now. So we're a lot closer than we were earlier on to see whether that 23 is going to act as resistance.
All right, yeah, good stuff. All right, guys, let's see, $23 potential resistance there. It's on the New York. We're not going to get it on our platforms just yet, Sharif. So, I mean, by all means.
JMKE?
Yeah.
I got it, my boy, right there. It's fine, yeah.
They won't pull up on
Yeah, you have to leave it like a few minutes. So put it on.
Okay,
There you go.
there we go. Bang, yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
It shows you
Joey,
know, I know what
taking out
I'm
highs,
talking
bro.
about. Yeah, I know. This thing's on the run, man. Katina Man was onto something over here.
Oh, yeah.
None of us paying any attention to Jersey Mike's. Well, guess who was wrong about that?
Dude, it opened up like $2, well, $1.50-ish, $1.30-ish below the high. No more, man. 21
Yeah,
to 25.
okay, 21 to
Thank you, Katina,
25.
for that.
But
Okay.
but I think all that matters is that the limit on opening was just right out of the gate. It didn't pull back,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like
Well said.
whatever the issue or whatever
point.
the issuing price was, it's just like right out of that open. It didn't have that initial lick grab. It was just right out of the gate.
No, it was straight up,
Something that
yeah.
I think as a unit we're looking for. So that's
Get
why I
it,
think
Joey.
it was a missed opportunity on our
man.
behalf. All right. Yeah, METU. It's unfortunate, guys. Meta's just been moving eastbound. No Kenny Powers, eastbound and down. I know Katina Man likes that one there. So yeah, a little bit tougher of a look in that name. Still down about 9% on the intraday session. We can take a look at what Microsoft is and how that's been performing. It's been a long time, Sharif. You probably never watched Eastbound and Down, but it is a pretty funny show. 16%. I think it's a classic,
Sorry,
man. It's a pretty good one. There.
No,
Shout
I'm
out
not
to-
saying it sucks. I'm saying I suck. I don't.
No, I'm not
know.
saying. No,
Yeah,
I'm not saying. Yeah, no, I'm just. It's a pretty good one. I'm
Is
just
it?
letting you know. Yeah, it's a baseball show. This guy gets sent down, and it's crazy. Anyways, breaking out. at this point, like, the beauty about this name specifically, and I think we'll talk about it momentarily, is just that, hey, when you kick these mega cap names down, the hyperscalers, individuals who are spending a boatload of money, and then now we're starting to turn a little bit of a profit, this is what happens. 350 all the way up to 455, that's 30% right off of those lows in the span of a day. So I understand the fact that, like, it's been selling off for almost more than a year. Like, you're at prices still from, Sharif, let me tell you this, from July of 2024.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's definitely a tougher look, right? So a couple of years ago, but eventually when these guys really, really get the ball rolling and the momentum picks up, I wouldn't be surprised if by next quarter we see Microsoft at all-time highs.
All right, man, let's keep an eye here on the IPO, JMKE, excuse me. New high a day, 22.67, showing the $0.50 now. So the trend, at least for now, is in one direction. And is you actually have it? Attaboy, Katina Man. Katina Man actually got the high of the day on that, right at 6.7. Right into the high of the day. Get it, Katina Man. All right, man. We're waiting for resumption here on CYCU. Halt time 13:10:14. Current time 13:14:21. We have another about 50 seconds, 45 seconds to go before resumption on this one. But we're quarter after one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we send it up to Sia and start
Absolutely.
the news if she's
Look
ready
at
to go?
22.74.
Pardon me?
22.
A new high a day.
Yeah, a new high of the day.
So JMKE is headed to 23.
It's gonna go to 23.
Yeah, it feels that way. All right, Sia, what are we talking about first?
We're talking Apple first, name reporting tonight. So keep in mind a few things that I'm just going to recap you about now. EPS is projected to be around $1.89. You have $108.65 billion to $108.8 billion of projection of revenue. A year-over-year increase of 15.6% is anticipated. Wall Street is also expecting minimal surprises as well on core numbers. This also marks the final earnings call with CEO Tim Cook before he transitions to executive chairman and hands the reins over to John Turnus, who will be stepping in. Apple now is up 25% year to date and has seen a 7% rally since S&P 500's since the S&P 500 had peaked on the 2nd of June. So options traders now. Another lookout over here is that options traders are braced for a bigger than usual move on earnings this time, with implied volatility pricing of 3.4% move after the report comes post-market today, which is more than double the stock's median 1.5% move after its past 4 reports that it has had. Apple is currently down on the day, closing to 2%.
Yeah. Apple is down today. Look, here's what I want to talk about. I want to see, first of all, on the call, the numbers are going to be what the numbers are, but I just want to see on the call whether John does take a little bit of a larger role. He was introduced last time, but it was still Timmy C leading the charge. Limit up, CYCU 150, false halt. So that's what I want to see there with respect to sort of the power dynamics. And then I also want to hear more about the iPhone, right? Predictions from some analysts that iPhone prices would increase between $150 to $250. I want to see more guidance on that. Maybe they tell us, maybe they don't. Maybe they wait for September. So I want to see whether or not that's going to be announced. I also want to hear more about the supply chain constraints, whether or not they're actually going to pursue CXMTs, RAM as an alternative, what kind of green light or red light they were given from the government to go ahead with something like that. Now, there could be a catch-22 where they use it specifically on non-US phones and then don't use Chinese components on US phones. So there could be that kind of happy middle. It looks like CYCU is going to limit down. So that's one thing that I want to speak about there. But I also want to mention, you know that I've had new Siri here for a long time now. I'm going on 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
It is quite good.
Okay.
I don't have an issue with it. It's not as fast as chat.
Okay.
Okay. There's a bunch of settings that I can play around with that I still haven't played around with. I like that it has that follow-up conversation capability. So it's not a one question per thing, right? So if I ask it, let me just say, I don't know, I'm asking it something about Paris. And then I have a follow-up question and another one. So it understands, it follows a chain of thought.
You can have a conversation with it.
And I can refer back to
memory.
it. Yeah, which is cool. So I do like that. the contextual abilities now for Siri to see on screen is very good. Also, if I ask it specific questions like, hey, how do I do this and this and this on the iPhone? You get a very, very clear, coordinated step-by-step response, which I really like. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to cut the Siri hype here.
Out of 10.
It's 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where would
Fundamentally better.
where would you like to see improvements?
10, brother.
No, but where would you like to?
I'll give you an example. What I
would
don't
you
like
to
so
see?
far. Sometimes it has problem with updating its memory. So for example, when I'm asking it Mandarin words, right?
Okay.
Hey, how do you say this in Mandarin or whatever? And then it always will ask me, do you want Taiwanese Mandarin or do you want mainland Mandarin?
Okay.
I said 100 times from now on, I want mainland Mandarin.
Okay.
And it keeps forgetting. So there are improvements.
Okay, so more of an agentic feature and tool is what we were looking for within the actual Siri itself. Before had really struggled with that type of capability.
Joey, there is no comparison
It's night
to
and
what
day.
Siri was
And
versus what Siri is
And
now.
this is what we were looking for in the iPhone, pretty much. And I like that. Now, there's
Miami Dragon, brother, I don't think you have the new Siri, man. Are you on iOS 27 beta? Because if you are, then I respect your opinion. But if you're
Siri
not
is
using
different
it,
than mine, right? This is my Siri, and you have the one that pulls
I have the new one,
which I've seen before. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. Now, what I've been noticing from a trend standpoint as of late within the hyperscalers is the depletion of free cash flow. Okay, so we've seen a couple of names get hit pretty heavy, and a lot of them dwindling and having to head into the debt markets, respectively. Apple, Meta chewing up about 90% of its free cash flow, and then also with Amazon around 75%. Now, with that being said, I know we're talking about Apple. What I really want us to focus on, and what I'm going to be focusing on, is, as obviously as it may seem, is the guidance and how it's going to affect the margins with the increase of memory costs, and then also the growth of sales and how they're going to guide with that. I think those are going to be two major metrics leading into this report and the direction in which Apple is headed. We've been on a pretty big run right now. So if it's not what the street is expecting, I would not be surprised if this name takes a little bit of a hit.
I want to also mention one other thing. So this is probably not big for a lot of people. I want to mention one other thing. This is probably not big for a lot of people, but for me it is, okay? So it always had searchable photos. So you could say, you know, dog or whatever, basic stuff, right? It would be able to pull up images of dogs. That's not what I want to talk about. But right now, like for example, Duolingo, I screenshot all the new words so I can go back to them later and learn, right? Yeah. And so the Duolingo screenshot doesn't have any Duolingo markings. It's just a white background with the words. It doesn't say Duolingo or anything like that. So there's nothing contextual about writing Duolingo that will pull it up. But if I type in Duo, all my screenshots populate so that I can go back to all of them. So the search feature in photos has really improved. Anyway, I know that these are like hyper-specific things, but I mean, they make it easier to use.
The devil is in the detail, is it not, right? So, I mean, the more detailed you can get within the tool itself, I think is really important. I think that's where high quality steps in as well. If that detail is there, and that's why Apple does what it is. It's unfortunate that to get their footing right, lower the bar, and then sure enough, I think this might be able to help sustain sales, considering there's going to be slight increases. I don't think it's going to be a major hindrance, but we know it could affect margins.
I want to say one other thing. My prediction is true to form and how Apple trades after earnings is it drops. Okay, that's going to be my bias. You know, does it drop to 300? Does it drop to 310? You know, but I think Apple drops. I don't think Apple trends up subsequent to earnings.
And you know what, man? Listen, anything can happen. It's been on a big time run. And I brought up the point before how a lot of these other names, the hyperscalers, have been getting hit heavy because the free cash flow being a major factor. This number, Apple's number of free cash flow is probably going to come out insane. And who knows if the street's going to perceive that relatively well.
Well said, man. Let's go to Adair.
I want to let you guys know President Trump here is about to speak in just a handful of minutes. It's about a trucking program, so very likely not to be market related, but we know there's usually going to be some kind of Q&A if he says anything of note. During a potential Q&A, I will keep you guys posted, but it's always worth knowing when he's talking. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Let's take a look at our next ticker, Amazon. So AMZ also reporting as of tonight. Revenue expectations at $196.47 billion, representing about a 17% year-over-year growth. EPS now projected at $1.82. Cloud segment revenue is projected to jump over the 30% mark year-over-year, approximately to a number of $40.49 billion. Net trade sentiment also positive by $3 million and 100,000 deltas, according to bar chart analysis. And traders are expecting a 6.6% move after Amazon earnings compared to the median 7% move that has been seen in the past 4 quarters. This is coming according to live vol data. Now, investors will also be watching the CapEx sentiment here as the mood around this massive investments in AI has become a little bit over, I would say, jittery. And Alphabet shares also, if you remember, had dipped last week after it hiked its CapEx forecast to the year as high as $205 billion. Amazon with that on the day, currently on the upside, close to 5%.
All right, let's talk about the CapEx here, man, because Amazon is one of the hyperscalers. And, you know, if they come out with a lofty number and they don't have the monetization to back it, my suspicion is they'll be made to pay like the other hyperscalers have been made to pay. And look, $200 billion CapEx, that compresses free cash flow. They're saying, look, AWS going to grow nicely, 31 to 33%. But that $200 billion CapEx is, you know, that's what's going to capture a lot of people's attention. Free cash flow is supposed to come in a little bit down, 1.2 billion. Joey, don't look. What was their free cash flow Q2 2025?
Well, I mean,
so right now, I'll give you the number for now.
Yeah.
They're expecting it to come in at 1.2 billion free cash flow in Q2.
Yeah, on the quarter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this was the point that I was making before. So whatever 75% of that is gone. They've depleted their free cash flow within capital expenditure.
Exactly right.
So I mean, that's the same. This is why these names have been getting hit, because they're just spending all of their money. That's why.
$26 billion in free cash flow. Q2 2025 expected $1.2 billion.
Yeah, man.
It's not a surprise to
I think this is this is what I'm, shout out to Dan Ives, this is what I'm pounding the table about. This is that new narrative in which some of the, I shouldn't say it's new because it's been there and we should have known this for quite some time, but across the board within the hyperscalers, these guys are depleting the free cash flow, with Google, Alphabet even having to hit the debt markets.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. So, I mean, it's something that we definitely have to take into consideration. But what I will say, I don't know if you're done your point, I may as well just make mine now.
I'm going to say one after you, but go ahead. Yeah.
Is the Anthropic investment is probably going to do wonders for this name, and then it's
it did for Softy.
Exactly, and then it's the war of the cloud,
yep.
right? It's the cloud wars. Who is going to be growing at a bigger clip rate? I think Amazon Web Service is just going to do. It's going to be just fine, and you're going to start to see an ROI in all of this capital expenditure. But it's cloud and AWS really that are going to be a driver of this thing. Oh, one more thing. It's a little bit off topic. Zoox, my favorite autonomous AV company.
Here we go.
Right? Now entering Miami and another major metropolitan. So starting to pick up some momentum.
I'm just going to say the advertising business, that is one of their fastest growing segments. We know now it's in double-digit categories when you're talking about capturing the entire advertising segment, and it is one of their highest margin businesses, even higher than AWS. So I'll be looking for commentary and growth in that area as well. It could, help balance out all this CapEx spending, Sia.
Let's take a look at our next topic, Microsoft here. So now a couple names that will be reporting post-market today. Microsoft that is up, having a very good day, I would say, 16.5% on the day. As of yesterday, had a blowout quarter, beating expectations across nearly every major metric. So now you have adjusted EPS that has come in at $4.74 versus $4.24 that was expected. Revenue has reached $90 billion versus $87.6 billion expected. On consensus, driven by the Azure growth being the headliner here, accelerating to 43%, well above expectations. Azure has also surpassed a $100 billion annual revenue run rate for the first time, while Microsoft has also guided, Yep, that's right. Azure grow to a 45% next quarter. Also reaffirmed aggressive AI investment plans despite already spending roughly $175 billion on data centers this fiscal year. But the combination of this accelerating cloud demand, stronger Copilot adoption, as well as continued AI infrastructure expansion are one of these factors that have all reinforced Microsoft's leadership, I would say, in AI, enterprise AI specifically. So on track for the best day that it's had since March 13th of 2020. Like I said, soaring 16.5%, and March 13 when it soared 18.5%.
Yeah, as I said to Adira this morning, I was really surprised by the Copilot growth. It seems to be, being adopted at levels that we didn't anticipate. I didn't anticipate. We always kind of use it as, that dumb younger cousin that we always make fun of, right? I hate to use that expression, but yeah, it was definitely not one of the premier or the frontier models. And look, they're growing it. Good for them. I hope they continue to do a little bit better. I want to mention a few things here. Commercial RPO is at an eye-watering $678 billion backlog here. There's just so much backlog for Azure specifically, guys. Their RPOs exploded 84% year over year. To me, that says one thing and one thing only. Demand is insatiable, and despite all the money they are spending, they are unable to kind of satiate that demand. So that to me is a good problem to have. $3.2 billion, Joseph, in an Anthropic gain. You just mentioned it there for Amazon. Amazon is not the only one that backed Anthropic.
We know ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, they were diversifying. Shout out Satya.
Yeah.
Look, if without that $3.2 billion Anthropic deal, their EPS drops by 27 pennies per share. One thing is to note that Anthropic, accretion is a one-line item, is not going to occur unless Anthropic continues to move up in valuation. Xbox and gaming service dropped 10% year over year. We know Asha Sharma is now at the helm. She's an AI woman. She's not a gaming woman. She has to prove here that she can move the needle for Xbox. Big shoes to fill, seeing who is leaving there. Azure officially, as Sia mentioned, crossed $100 billion in revenue for the first time ever. 43% Joseph options. Quarterly growth in Azure and other cloud services. Not year over year. Sequential, quarter over quarter. That is huge, dude.
Man, I'm telling you, these numbers are ridiculous, dude. I mean, that's why I have an extreme amount of confidence. Now, I have a couple of points here, and we'll get to the cloud and everything that's going on with Copilot here momentarily. But I don't know if anybody agrees with me on this point, Sharif. I know you're not a big video gamer. I know you're not a big video game individual. In my younger days, I loved playing Call of Duty. I told you guys all of this together, but I feel like we're kind of in a stagnant area right now when it comes to gaming. Like, you have to take into consideration when PlayStation 1 came out, it was a controller. Obviously, the graphics have drastically changed, but I think the next step for gaming is stepping outside of that traditional keyboard or controller and looking at something on the screen, which Mark Zuckerberg tried, and we have the VR headsets. I think what needs to happen with these companies is you need to get really creative and step outside of that traditional kind of controller and keyboard. That's where the video gaming is going to take that next step.
People are agreeing with you, bro.
Yeah, within Hell No says, well, Parasite says no, hell no. So, I mean, anyways, aside from that, what I'm getting at, Sharif, you talked about the RPOs. Now, this is what gives me more confidence for some of these names to just have extremely strong quarters for the next couple of years. What was it, 400 and something billion dollars in RPO?
Yeah.
And it was the exact same thing with Google, $518 billion in backlog. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a pipeline where you're going to see strong revenue growth. Sundar and Satya both stating we would have had greater revenues if we had the computing power. So they're still limited on that. And when it comes to Copilot, I'm in the camp of that we're still in such early stages of the adoption of these LLM tools and all these AI tools. We use it because we're around it every day. People who work in the corporate realm, they use it because they're around it every day. But everyone else outside of that,
not as much.
Not as much.
Agree.
And then when you have that that group of individuals really start to adapt these tools, that's when you can start to see some
mass adoption.
Right?
Yeah,
like you have linear growth within some of the things. And that's why Copilot, I'm not saying it's the exact same case, but 10 million users, paid users over the quarter, adding it to around 30 or 40 million paid users isn't bad at all. So,
Joey, can you bring down that headline that you just showed me there?
Yeah.
Because I think people need to see this. So look at this,
I can
guys.
find it.
Altman, for his latest model, is going to do as follows here. So let's just, if we can bring that in, Joey. There we go. Bring that in, baby. OpenAI says reducing prices for GPT 5.6 Luna by 80%. What do you think was the triggering event for this? I think it was the haired one yelling up a storm on CNBC talking about how everybody is getting ripped off by the frontier models and that he's participating in it, but he hates it. I'm talking, of course, about Alex Karp and Palantir, his sort of unhinged, I like it that way, interview with the, what's it called, Squawk Box team.
Yeah.
What did we see after that? Zuck drop in MS 1.1 to like, what was it, 150 per token?
Something along those lines.
Exactly. And then now we're seeing this from OpenAI.
Yeah.
This is a direct response, I think, to that interview, brother.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Kimi models and the DeepSeeks have some form of influence on this. But I'm in the camp. If these guys like, listen, the Chinese will undercut you until you can no longer be in business anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if the American regulators cut the tap off. It's like, okay, you're not using these things here. You're no longer allowed to, and you're just going to stick to what you have from the frontier standpoint, right? Like, look what happened. Imagine Chinese EVs came to North, even though they're coming to Canada. Imagine they went to the States. How long would Ford and GM be in business after that? So
hold on, did you see what China did last night? Or America did last night?
No.
Blocked Chinese robotics.
Yeah, yeah, you mentioned it.
Yo, she's pissed, man. Yeah, he says it's going to affect their relationship.
Flights and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it would be the exact same thing when it comes to these AI tools. So that you can't, boom, no, you're not using them here. See you later. It's obviously national security issues, but they'll probably use as some form of
and that's what they've been saying about EVs. You're tracking, data collection. All right, Sia, we didn't mean to interrupt your breathing.
No, that's okay. What? Okay, never mind. Let's move on to Meta, who is in a metaverse of a miss. So Meta has beat revenue expectations, yes, as of yesterday, but badly missed on earnings, what we're going to take a look at. EPS of $6.18 versus $7.22 that was expected, versus revenue now reaching at $60.8 billion, expected was $60.2 billion. Investors are also focused on the weaker Q3 revenue guidance, daily active users that have also come in slightly below expectations, and free cash flow that has collapsed 91%, yes, to $784 million. AI infrastructure spending has surged. Management has also raised its capital expenditure outlook, that is CapEx outlook, to as much as $145 billion, reinforcing the aggressive AI strategy. But combination of a weaker profitability, also softer guidance, has triggered this sharp of a sell-off. Meta shares are currently down close to 9% on the day. CEO of the company, Mark Zuckerberg, has said that the company is, quote unquote, getting a lot of offers for compute at a significant premium over what the company had paid for it. So this can be a change of direction for Meta if it begins leasing out its excess computing capacity to third parties. But there are very few details provided on the business and what it could potentially look like. So at the same time, Zuck has also acknowledged that the company will need to keep computing resources to itself, also to develop new products. Meta, not having a great day, wasn't having a great night either.
Doing, that's crazy.
Yes, Brendo, I'm going to submit it on essay. All right, yes, 100%. Everything's booked, Brendo. All right. One-time cost hit to EPS. So I want to mention this. So items that likely won't reoccur. What am I talking about? I'm talking about $2.4 billion legal contingency fund that they had to keep there because they're going to get clipped for that use safety trial. They know what their likely damages they're going to pay are. So $2.4 billion removed from the profitability side and earmarked as a contingent liability. Point number one. And then another $1.18 billion in a restructuring and severance costs tied to the layoffs that they had in May. They had got to pay those people out. That cost them $1.18 billion. So 2.4, 1.18, that eats about, according to this report, mid to high 90s in terms of EPS. So that's about the dollar miss there. Now let's talk about their free cash flow. Sia mentioned they're really kind of spending up a lot. Well, listen to this, man. Listen to this, Joey.
Yeah.
Free cash flow, $31.86 billion on the quarter. Do you want to guess what their capital expenditures were on that same quarter?
Repeat
No
that
problem.
One more time.
So free cash flow on the quarter,
Yeah.
31.86 billion.
Yeah.
Their capex,
Yeah.
31.1 billion. So essentially spending every single penny that they made in free cash flow on the quarter. They didn't keep anything, barely. And then other revenue options, man, we're talking about WhatsApp, specifically WhatsApp Business that did grow nicely, 73% year over year. That's bringing in $1 billion now. Good look for them. Long-term debt scares the hell out of me, Assassino, to finance their capex full year. They're looking at taking on $130 to $145 billion in spending. That brings their long-term debt, not short-term, long-term debt to $83.66 billion. This is a company that was known as being asset light. We cannot call them that anymore.
Yeah, listen, it's definitely tough being a Meta shareholder. But again, these individuals don't spend, these major corporations don't spend all of this money if they don't believe that there's going to be a return on investment on the other side of things. Does that mean there is going to be? No, look what happened to Reality Labs in the metaverse and what happened with the street not liking how much capital expenditure Mark Zuckerberg was getting into. It's the same narrative here. But I think I do believe I'm going to remain optimistic. It's just the fact that if you build the infrastructure, regardless if your tools and your features are going to be the ones that really bring you back that ROI, I think it's a matter of just having that cloud compute and the data centers to rent it out to the models that are succeeding, the ChatGPTs, the Anthropics of the world, and who knows, from another startup, anything can happen, and all of a sudden they need this massive amount of compute. Now, I do believe at some point they will recover. I think they're going to gain some grounds and gain some market share from some of the top frontier models. MuseSpark is one of the more efficient, and Zuck is actually selling compute relatively cheap. They've already signed, I believe it was a $10 billion deal with Anthropic, so they're already off to the right thing, just a little bit too late. But you have to build the infrastructure first, and then somewhere down the line, maybe 5 years, maybe even less, it will start to see an ROI, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's only a matter of time. And just don't forget about the ad revenue giant that Meta is, right? Like, so much of this cash is funded by Instagram's ad revenue. Just be patient with the name, and eventually things will hopefully turn around.
We have breaking news. Yeah.
Let's go.
More headlines here coming out of the Middle East. Keep an eye on USO. We did get a little bit of a spike on that last 3-minute candle here. State media out of Iran reporting that Iran's army has launched an attack on U.S. assets in Bahrain's Sheikh Issa base. Furthermore, adding that, quote, repeated attacks by armed forces have caused significant damage to the combat and logistical capabilities of the enemy forces at that base. So Iran's army, according to Iranian state media, claiming that they did launch an attack, and apparently this attack and other similar attacks have caused significant damage to the U.S. base. Interesting look here. Keep an eye on USO.
Let's also, yes, thank you, Adara, keep an eye on MasterCard with that big uptick that it had after reporting earnings. So MasterCard currently is, I would say, up. I hope, and I assume it's up. Yes, it's up 2.5% on the day. Reported earnings of $5.04 per share, beating consensus of $4.77 per share. These are adjusted figures for non-recurring items. This earnings report has single-handedly delivered a surprise of 5.66%. Over the last 4 quarters, MA has also surpassed consensus EPS 4 times. Revenue is up 14% year over year at $9.28 billion, beating analyst expectations by $9.08 billion. Net income at $4.39 billion or $4.39 billion or 4.97, that is per diluted share. Also, cross-border volume has climbed 12% and gross dollar volume has increased 8% to $2.9 trillion. Switch transactions have shot up 9% to $47.4 billion, and value-added services revenue also has jumped 20%. MasterCard, not a bad look.
All right, thank you very much for that, Sia. Here's what I'm talking about. Okay, I want to talk about their value-added services actually growing a lot faster than their network revenue. So network revenue did pretty good. They surged 10% year over year. But listen to this. Value-added, and by value-added, I'm talking about, fraud prevention, identity verification, data analytics tools. That's a high-margin business, and now it's growing at a faster clip rate, 18% compared to their organic traditional network at 10%. I gotta like that. What I don't like is the artificial increase of EPS via share buyback. So they bought back $4.9 billion. That's 9.8 million shares. And they artificially pumped up EPS by 21% by doing that. So we got to view it in the context in which it arises. Last but not least, this kind of took me by surprise. Beyond, just the cross-border travel trends, they're making a lot of money on Forex. You got a Canadian credit card, you schlep down to America, you use it, you get clipped on the rate conversion. They've been making a lot of money doing that. But now they're actually spending more money on stable coin settlement infrastructure and agentic payments on APIs. So this I really like because this is your traditional finance, right? Your finance category, your Visas, your American Express, your MasterCards, who kind of loathed the kind of crypto stablecoin segment, and they see the writing on the wall as well. That to me is the biggest endorsement, right? When traditional centralized finance starts, investing money in the decentralized new finance. So I do like that, Joey. I figured you'd probably like that as well, man. They threw a lot of money. Say that again, Fabian, please. Great question. So Fabian just asked about Western Union. I think, Fabian, that the stable coins are hurting Western Unions. These regular payment coins like Solana, because you can send money way quicker and for cheaper, correct?
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole objective.
That's why they're sweating.
They are. Western Union is legit hurting because you can just transfer via stable coin. I don't know. Listen, I didn't read over this report, so I don't have anything to say.
That's all right, man.
We can talk some Stellantis. But yeah,
yeah. Go ahead,
I like what Donald Trump, man. We got to get this garbage out of here, charging people 20% interest on these credit cards. I'll always be an advocate.
You know what? I was telling my mom, Dukes, that the other day. That's funny you should bring that up. So I was saying to my mom, I'm like, because I got 3 credit cards, right? One Visa, one MasterCard, one American Express. And so I was telling her, I'm like, my low interest credit card is the Visa. I pay about 13 or something like 12 and a half, 14, something like in that range. And she's like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
Right? I'm like, Mom, that's annual APR, right? But I'm like, Mom, compare that to the other credit cards. My American Express, like 24%.
Some people are getting slacked, man.
So it's just like, put everything in context there, man. But
but that's the thing, like save man, woman. You say, agree, banks are the biggest robbers, and that's why you forever own, because those regulations will most likely never change, and that's why you own the major banks. It's like, okay, yeah, cool, you want to rinse me over here and over there and charge me fees in order to hold my money? That's insane, right? That's crazy to think of. Own the underlying asset. 35% is normal. I understand that, but it shouldn't be. It's criminal. Especially we're such a credit-based society now. Everybody putting everything on credit. So let's go over to the desk.
Keep an eye on Google here, guys. This story doesn't appear on its face to be massive, but there was a spike on Google that it's already given up. I do just want to address this here. Seeing a report from the Wall Street Journal that this group, Nexus Data Centers, is in advanced talks for $15 billion in financing led by Morgan Stanley for a 1.6 gigawatt campus and natural gas power plant in Hubbard, Texas. Now, apparently, Anthropic has signed some of these leases. Google would be guaranteeing billions of dollars in lease and power obligation should Anthropic default. Now, apparently, this campus that, again, Nexus Data Centers is in talks for would be using Google TPUs co-designed with Broadcom. So we'll pull up AVGO here, not really moving on this. Either way here, I guess an Anthropic Texas AI campus deal has been backed by GeoOGL. Keep an eye on Google and Broadcom. Back to you.
You can comment if you'd like to. Yeah.
It's not the first time we've heard this, and we're seeing a consistent pattern of this now, where either the fabless chip company and AMD and Nvidia is the one backstopping the data center build-out, or now it's going to be some of these hyperscalers backing it. And this is like, okay, so they don't pay any money, but this is a contingent liability on Google that they actually have to put on their balance sheets, guys. If they're going to backstop whatever it was here, let me just take a look, $15 billion. So Nexus Data Centers in advanced talks for $15 billion financing led by MS to build 1.6 gigawatts. So if they're backstopping that, that's a contingent liability on Google. So Dara's absolutely right. You're not realizing that right away, but you have to realize that at the next quarter on your earnings report, on your balance sheet. And this is consistently happening now. And I think it's financial, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like accounting kind of acrobatics where, you know, I'm not going to give you the money, Joey.
Yeah.
Right? You go borrow the money from Morgan Stanley, but guess what?
What?
I'm going to make Morgan happy by guaranteeing you. You ever, you know, when you were young, like I always asked my old man to co-sign in a car for me. Always said no.
Yeah.
Every single time I asked him to co-sign in a car for me because I always wanted to get a car that was beyond my means.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And then he would always say no. And why? I was like, oh, Dad, I'm like, I never not pay my bills.
Yeah.
He's like, because that's on me, man.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, I'm not carrying your
to-
debt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
This is really interesting, man. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I feel about that.
Oh, no,
see us
yeah,
took off.
meeting.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Meeting.
okay.
Meeting,
yeah.
Meeting.
Meeting.
Yeah.
What do you got there,
What do you
brother?
got there, Katina, man?
Hangry wife, same, Sharif. He did right by you. Absolutely, brother. I didn't think he was doing right by me at the time because, you know, I was an idiot, right? Like, I was trying to buy something beyond my means. I hadn't learned life lessons
Yeah,
yet.
no, man.
so-
It's funny. I was looking at financing of a car, and I've never financed a vehicle.
Case.
I've
Got a car
never
to
I've
sell,
never
dude.
financed a vehicle. Right? I've been fortunate enough to just put myself in positions
boy.
where I buy the car cash.
This guy, bro, dunking on all of us.
No. But dude, I don't drive the flashiest
Respect that,
rides.
bro.
You
Man,
know what
you're
I
not
mean? I don't
kidding,
drive the I don't drive. So yesterday,
Yeah.
I'm punching some numbers right there
Oh,
on Car Gurus.
X4, huh?
No, but see, that's the thing, Sharif. I'm like, yo, listen. I mean, like, what am I going to be looking at here? Like 6-7% with X amount down, you know what I mean? And then it's like over what, a
Yeah, yeah.
72 month term. And I'm like,
Yo, bro, you just look at that last line. What's
I'm
the
like,
cost of borrowing?
what the
You look at that
hell?
last line, my boy. What is
Yeah.
the cost of borrowing? Are you
I'm
willing
like,
to pay that much? Even
No,
if it's over 5
heck
years?
no. On
Yeah.
a depreciating asset, listen, man.
Get outta here, bro.
like if
Get
I
outta
can't,
here, bro.
if I can't buy it cash, I ain't driving it. So
That piece of crap BM&R is breaking out, apparently.
Yeah.
People are saying, piece of crap. Where is this thing? On the NQ?
No,
Where
I
is
drive
this?
it.
On the Amex?
Listen, full disclosure,
New
like
York?
I drive a X1, man. It's nothing flashy. Got my windows
beautiful
tinted,
car, bro, yeah.
limo tinted.
Yeah.
I mean, windows.
How many
tinted.
NVIDIA shares is that, Joey?
That one.
That's
bro,
not even me asking,
it's
bro.
like,
That's the
how many?
chat.
You asked me how many NVDA shares, bro. That thing cost me like at least 250. 250.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of NVIDIA
Well, I would
shares.
still be driving my other car if some lady didn't destroy it. So we had to go and grab another one. So
All right. Okay. Well, we're Sia's in a meeting for now, so we'll just let's look at the market, Joseph. Or should we just continue on with the stories? We'll continue on with the
continue. You
stories.
got your stories, man.
Let's
Pull
get
them
to
up,
go,
man. We
man.
can talk
So she wanted to talk about a little Stellantis. So let's talk a little Stellantis here, Joey.
right.
So they missed Wall Street consensus estimate, despite actually turning, to black ink instead of red for a while. $773 million in operating income. Sorry, euros. 773 million euros. Well short, though, of the consensus of 914 million euros. That sparked the sell-off. I think we're about 8%. Also, Europe swung to an operating loss. Enlarged European presence swinging to an operating loss. North American sales for Stellantis did rebound strongly, about 32%, but their primary European business just stalled out. 94 million euros they brought in, but that's a 0.6% drop, and that's a problem there. Consolidated operating cash flow remained negative. Management, they pounded the table on that $1 billion industrial free cash flow that they had, but when you look at everything else, it's about a negative $169 million free cash flow. You compare that to last year, they had positive 559 million euros. Tariff headwind as well, $1.2 billion in tariff-related costs. They are expected to recoup about €1 billion of that. So we'll see, whether they realize that on the next earnings report, Joe.
Listen, I mean, Stellantis here, man. The manufacturer itself, interest before taxes here, around 773 million euros. Now, on the year, 13% year over year to 43.48 billion euros. Not too bad whatsoever. But the U.S. tariff costs around 1.2. You talk about the tariff cost, 1.2 billion euros.
They're going to get about $1 billion of that back, which is nice.
Which is good, good, right? I wonder how much, because remember Costco was pounding the table about getting some money back via tariffs. I wonder what happened there. I can't wait. And Walmart as well, too. But Stellantis, STLA, again, car business, a tough one that I would not be looking to park my money in long term.
It looks like President Trump did not take any questions. So, the wild card, I guess, that we were not hoping, but definitely keeping an eye out there. Democrats demand Apple reject Chinese military-linked chips. Of course, we were probably talking about CXMT. I just love how, they come in there. The next story is Amazon Zoox. Do you want to look at that? Because I know that's your world there.
We can talk about it, man. If you want to pull it up. I mean, the expansion is real, Sharif.
I can start here.
If you want. I don't have anything up on it right now. I did take.
I can read it out here. See, I've prepared it. So Zoox.
I typed in Zoox as the ticker.
Maybe one day.
Maybe
one day. Zoox has, as of today, received a temporary exemption from U.S. regulators, apparently, which paves the way for them to start offering paid robo-taxi rides. The exemption comes from the NHTSA, and it allows Zoox to deploy up to 2,500 vehicles for a 2-year period. The NHTSA said in a release, quote, subject to an enhanced adaptable oversight structure that can evolve as Zoox's technology advances. So to me, that means some other regulatory body could be kind of developed here to monitor these autonomous vehicles. The CEO, Ika Evans, I guess, has said in a statement that the move represents what they're calling an important milestone for the company as well as the broader autonomous industry. She says, we are honored, quote, to receive the first ever commercial exemption for a purpose-built robotaxi from the NHTSA and enabling us to begin charging for our services and take another step towards bringing autonomous ride-hailing to more communities. Let's pause for a second. We got to go to Adair with news.
I want to get into this Apple story because it's unclear how different this is from what was being reported earlier today and what was on our watch list this morning as well. So let's get into it. Again, I'm seeing reports that U.S. Democrats are calling on Apple to reject Chinese military-linked chips. Potentially, this could have to do with these memory chip concerns that Apple could be using CXMT and YMTC. Now, here's the thing. We heard as of yesterday, again, apparently there was an open letter led by an Indiana Republican by the name of Jim Banks and New York Democrat by the name of Chuck Schumer. You also had co-signs here from the likes of Democrats Andy Kim, Janine Shaheen. You also had Republicans Mike Crapo and Pete Ricketts get involved. So this was a very bipartisan effort. It's unclear if this is going to be either House Democrats or Senate Democrats now that are getting involved, calling on Apple to reject Chinese military-linked chips. But it's worth noting we've already had reports to this effect. And if I see any more details as to what differentiates this from these earlier reports, I'll keep you posted. But I did want to provide an update on that. Back to you.
For that, Adair, we did mention it, but I do want to remind everybody, guys, that Apple is not presented with a dichotomy here. It is not a black or white option. They have many options at their disposal. They can choose to use Chinese chips for non-U.S. destined phones and then, prohibit the use of CXMT's chips or whoever they're going to do business with in China from, finding their way onto U.S. destined phones. So it's not, a black and white thing. I think there are plenty of shades of gray here, and especially with Apple, navigating this kind of very, very, convoluted supply chain structure that they have, right?
Yeah.
So, you want to shut that out right there, or Dave?
Yeah, we'll talk about Dave's here. We'll talk Zoox momentarily. I really like what's going on. My overnight option swing, Apple, Amazon, Reddit, DXCM calls, Roblox puts, got Meta leaps at 9:27. Okay. All right. So expiring September 2027 for $780. Earlier Google calls, $350 expiring on the 21st of August here. For now, up 6.5%. Good luck all. Thanks, Dave.
Bang.
Appreciate it, man. You're locked and loaded. Seems like you got a lot going on for yourself. So yeah, good stuff. Listen, I'm in the camp that this AV, some of these other manufacturers, I understand that people like to drive. But well, guess what? I used to like to ride a pedal scooter as well. So I used to use my legs and stuff. But technology evolves. I'm just in the camp that this AV stuff, especially for the day-to-day commuter, people who are doing an hour plus, even half an hour to 45 minutes of sitting in traffic, especially in major metropolitans like here, Toronto. If you have the ability to just hit full self-drive or hop in an autonomous vehicle, you're going to do so, in my opinion, and just capture so much of your time. I just really hope that like the companies like BMW, Mercedes, the German manufacturers, everyone has the ability to adapt this technology, because they'll be non-existent. Think about how many kids. Now, I don't know if this is the best analogy, and it's probably not, but as a kid, Sharif, I don't know about you, I had a scooter and I used my foot for this scooter. Now, I don't see any kids using these scooters anymore. It's all electric scooters. Everyone's using these electric scooters. So.
Oh, Neil wants to come in, bro. Neil wants to come in hot.
Neil wants to come in hot.
Get it,
hopefully
Neil.
my mic is on. I'm just gonna throw it out there, but in my neighborhood, like their kids are on. My daughter's on her scooter, not electric.
Yeah.
All of her friends, they're busting. Maybe
Really?
we're just an old school neighborhood, but I feel you. Like we haven't. She doesn't use the electric scooter we have, and there's a couple of kids that have them but don't use them. Like I don't know. Maybe it's only my neighborhood, but I actually feel
it
like
probably wouldn't be just your
some of the
neighborhood.
kids love it.
Maybe I
love it.
should say that the growing usage of the electric scooter is far, especially in the city.
Oh,
and even
100%.
you head into Mississauga, you see kids just ripping around on these scooters. I don't think it's.
Is it, you know where it is? It's like teenagers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So like, think about it. So when they get older and they get out of that play stage, and it's like, okay, I need to rip over here to go hang out with somebody, they're gonna hop on the electric scooter, right? Like, why
100%.
get there in 30 minutes when you can get there in 10 on the
Yeah, I feel like I used to walk half an hour to high school, and I would be early to get to morning basketball. Like, if I could have had a scooter and been there in like 10, 15,
Yeah.
I've done it for sure.
That's the thing, man.
100%.
Kids
And I'm with
be-
you on the self-drive thing. Like, that's one of those things that I think it's inevitable, but it's how fast it happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a slow rollout. There's no question. I would like it to happen a little faster. Now you have Zooks in Austin and Miami. So, I mean, listen, at some point it will pick up some steam, and who knows if it becomes exponential. At some point, I do believe it will, especially with the newer generation, man.
Man, hold on, man. I'm getting my vacation done here, brother.
All right, man. Sorry.
Brendo's gonna get upset.
You
if I
got to
don't
do
put the
upset. You
thing.
didn't do it for the thing yet?
What's that?
You didn't do it for
No,
your
we did it right now. So we're
you
gonna
did
get
it right
either
there.
the acceptance or the denial.
How many days you got left?
Oh,
my
look,
boy?
she's back there. Hey, look at her. She didn't think we knew.
Yeah, she was
She's
hiding
stunned,
too,
like she doesn't
man.
care
That's
and
crazy.
stuff.
Give us that shot, Assassino. Ha, ha,
Ah, we love her.
How many days you got left, my boy?
I've got 1.5.
Yes.
Hey, man, whatever, man. I went on vacation a
Yeah.
lot this year.
So-
man. This
so
is
you
going to be my
better-
biggest travel year in a long
Yeah, I know. So you better
time,
check
bro.
the calendar and see what you got going on in late December.
Well, that's the
my
thing. I
G.
think we're going to have to move it to January. Yeah. So
alright.
you went out on that one.
Make sure you submit it to me first.
Submit it to you. You delusional, bro. Delusional. All right, man. We had a great time, guys. It is 2 o'clock. The Katina man is at the big board. Neil is locked and loaded. They're ready to take you in to the closing print. Do not forget, Apple, Amazon, after the bell today. We had a couple of Mag 7's names yesterday. We're going to have a couple more today. Are you guys staying back for the aftermarket show, or is that not happening today? I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah, for Apple and Amazon. Oh, because Apple's 4:30. That's right.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
no,
don't
but
think the boys
Amazon,
are
though,
gonna
they
wait
got to
there.
stay for Amazon.
Amazon comes out pretty quick.
I can confirm
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they're staying.
Yeah, you can confirm. Okay. All right.
Such a disturbing.
There's Ram.
There's Ram.
There's Katina Man.
working
There's
on
Adara.
They're not ready.
And you know what? Neil is that way.
Oh.